So good evening all of you. I welcome you all to this CA Final Direct Tax regular batch which will be absolutely in English, relevant for your 2025 exams. So if you are giving exams in 2025, in May 2025 or November 2025, in either of the case this batch will be applicable. And even if you give your exams for your CMA 2025, that is June 2025 or December 2025, this batch will be applicable for you. Now, before we start with the batch, I would like to say a few things regarding the batch, how we are going to go about with the batch, what exactly is going to be the coverage of the batch, and what all books will be given to you all. So, it's just about a brief synopsis of what exactly we are going to do in the next few months. So, as you have enrolled for this regular batch, so it will be a very detailed batch, which will not only be relevant from the exam perspective, but also relevant from the practical point perspective. Because I believe that direct tax is a subject which is a very practical subject. Many of you might have an interest of making a career in this particular field, and that's the reason instead of just mugging up the provision, it is better to understand the provision with logics and with practical perspective. And many a times, the paper of direct tax, if it is difficult, in the last few attempts, the paper has been very easy, especially in the May 2024 and in the November 2023. Last two attempts paper of direct tax has been very easy, but that's not the case always. One difficult attempt can put you in a difficult situation if you have not prepared the subject in a good manner, in a proper manner. So here we are going to prepare the subject in a manner that is making us believe that we will be able to crack the worst case scenario also. So you don't have to worry about it. Even if the worst of the worst paper comes, we will be able to comfortably attempt that. Don't worry about it. And if it comes easy, then it is well and good. That's good news for us, right? So we will prepare for the worst case scenario. Worst case means worst case. That's the last stage at which the ICI can go. And we have to think in that way only. We cannot always expect that the papers will come easy. We cannot always expect that the checking will be easy. We need to think always that everything will be difficult. We'll try to crack that. Okay, that should be our attitude towards the subject. So we are going to learn the subject not only academic perspective but also from the practical perspective. Okay. Now regarding the books, how many books will be given to us, sir? So you guys will be given 5 books total. I'll just give you the brief description of all the books, and when you will be getting the books, that also I will tell you. Okay. In the initial stages, as of now, I have sent you the soft copy of first few topics. I guess you guys have got it, right? Yes. Yeah. The reason why the books are not yet been sent to you, because you might be knowing that the budget has just come this year, because this year there were 2 budgets, right? One before the election and one after the election. The budget has just come, and just 1 or 2 days back, Finance Act has been passed. Okay. So just a day back, a Finance Act has been passed. So it is not practically possible for me to make book in 1 day. Okay. Because there has been lot of amendments in this year. Lot. You would have heard on social media and all, indexation has been removed, then it has been restored, etc., etc. So we'll talk about all those things in a respective lecture. So there has been a lot of changes in Finance Act 2024 which are relevant for your May 2025 exams and also for your November 2025 exams. So your book will be fully updated as per the latest Finance Act. Every provision will be updated as per the latest Finance Act. Every question will be updated as per the latest Finance Act. Nothing will be kept unupdated. Everything will be updated. You don't have to do anything. You have to just open the book and study. That's it. Okay. And more importantly, you have to attend the lecture regularly. That is most important thing. So I'll be giving you in all 5 books. Okay. There will be, the books will be segregated into 3 parts. There will be 3 detailed books. What does detail book cover, sir? Detail books cover something similar to what ICI material says. Okay. It will be at par with the ICI material. So for all the big topics, important topics, which are important in CA final, like business and profession, capital gains, transfer pricing, non-resident taxation, you might have heard about these things. You might have not heard about these things. It's okay. one thing I would like to clarify very clearly to all of you, that our batch is going to be from the very base. I'm not going to make any assumption that you know this. No, I'm not going to make any assumption. It will be from the very base, irrespective of what you have learned in CA Inter. I'm not interested in that. Okay. If your base is strong, well and good. Even if it is not strong, don't worry. We will make it strong in the class itself. You don't have to worry about that. Secondly, we are going to cover every topic which is there in CA final. There are many topics which are repetition of CA Inter. So you have to do that also. So we are not going to make assumption that because capital gains was done in CA Inter, so in CA final I am not going to do. It's not like that. I am going to cover everything which is there in CA final, irrespective of whether it was there in CA Inter or not. Okay. Only the entire CA Inter syllabus is also there in final, if you are aware of it. As far as income tax is considered, entire. Only two topics are not there. One is salary and one is house property. These two topics are now removed in the new course. Till November 2023, those two topics were also there. So, but from May 2024, which is your new course, 6-paper course, right? In that, these two topics are removed by the institute. Okay. So these two topics, except these two topics, all the topics which you have done in CA Inter, like business and profession, capital gains, income from other source, chapter 6A, TDS, set of carry forward, tax rates, everything is there in CA final, and everything will be covered in CA final in our batch. Don't worry. Okay. You just have to follow our footsteps. That's it. You just have to follow that. So the 3 detailed ICI books, what is the necessity of that, sir? What is the need of that? Why do you want to learn in so much of detail? See, I have told you at the beginning only. There can be 2 reasons. One, we never know when the attempt will be becoming difficult. We never know when the exams will be difficult. Okay. So we have to prepare for the worst case scenario. Secondly, being a chartered accountant, after you clear your CA exams, and if you don't know how to read a bare act, if you don't know how to read a law, it will be very, very embarrassing for us, right? So I'm a chartered accountant. I don't know how to read section. I just know how to mug up a section. That is something which will be very embarrassing for us. So I don't want my students to be in such a position that they are not able to read a section also after becoming a chartered. Then what's the use of becoming a chartered accountant, being a professional? So the detail book covers everything in detail. Lot of places there will be bare act of the section. Lot of places there will be detailed analysis of the latest amendments made by the government of India, why this amendment is made, what is the logic behind this amendment. You will get everything in detail in your detail book. Okay. So this will be, you can say, a replica of the ICAI material. Now the second question is, sir, how will we revise so much a day before exam? That is practically not possible. You get 1 day before exam, right? Ultimately, you have joined this batch to clear your exams, right? That is your priority, and that is my priority also. My priority is also to make you clear exam. Along with that, my priority is to give you knowledge for the subject. Giving knowledge is my second priority, not first. Making you pass, getting you good marks in the CA final exams, especially whatever efforts could come from my side in full English, I will try to do from my side. What all commitments I am going to make, I will make you today itself. And you can see on the last day of the exams that whether I have honored these commitments or not. Okay. I have also mentioned that I am going to do these things for my students. Whatever I am going to do, I have mentioned in the book first page only. Whenever you will get the book, you can see in the book first page that these are my commitments towards my full English students. So I am going to make all those commitments and I am going to honor those commitments. Coming back to the discussion that how will we revise so much a day before exam? That is practically not possible. If a topic is given in so much of depth, ICI material, it's so huge. It's very, very big. I don't know whether you have ordered the ICI material or not. If you have ordered the ICI material, you would have got the old material because the Finance Act has very recently come. Amendment has just come. So if you want to order the ICI material, I guess you can order after 1 or 2 months, not now. Okay. Because if you order now, they will give you the old one. Okay. They will not give the new one. So if you see the ICI material, it is for more than 2,500 pages. Okay. More than CA final direct tax is more than 2,500 pages. Now the question is how it is humanly possible to revise that a day before exam. Even if I sit with the book and turn the pages, then also 2,500 pages I cannot turn in 1 day. Yes or no? Forget about reading them. I am talking about only turning them. That is also not practically possible. So we have a solution to that problem. Okay. And for that we have a color book. which will cover the entire syllabus. We have named that color book as Easy Notes, and it will be approximately 400 pages. That's it. In this color book, entire syllabus will be covered in 400 pages. Entire means whatever is there from first topic till the last topic in CA final. Everything, including whatever was there in CA Inter also. Everything, capital gains, business and profession, assessment procedure, penalties, TDS, non-resident taxation, international, everything, black money law, whatever is there, everything will be covered in 400 pages. That's it, comprehensively. The idea of making this, we used to not make this book in earlier, around 5 years back, we used to not make this book. We used to teach directly from here and that's it. The student used to study from here only. But nowadays the curriculum has increased so much. Direct tax subject itself has increased so much that it is practically impossible for a student to revise everything a day before exam. Not possible. So we have to make the things concise so that the student feels comfortable. Okay, this is the book of 400 pages. If I'm done with that, I'm done with DT. You will have some kind of self-confidence. Okay. Otherwise, looking at 2,500 pages tower, you will get shattered a day before examination. Okay. Ultimately, what is our goal? Our goal is to whatever lecture you attend, whatever you study in the study leave, all those of no use. If you are not able to revise a day before exam, right? And if you are not able to apply in the exam for 3 hours. So our ultimate goal is that 3 hours only. Yes or no? If you are not able to crack the exams in 3 hours, so we have to do everything that is possible. Everything possible from our side we should do so that we can crack the paper easily. We should not have any extra efforts also. So this book will be given to you, okay, a synopsis. In fact, one chapter of this book is already sent to you in the form of a PDF. That is the first topic that we are going to start. That PDF is already sent to you. And this book is not made with an intention of only coloring the book. Let me tell you the intention of this book, okay? Pay attention. We have used various colors over here, not 1 or 2 colors. Around 4 to 5 different colors are used to denote few things. Like for example, the main content of the book will be in blue color, okay, dark blue color. Then whatever is the important lines, important words in a particular sentence, which generally students have the tendency of highlighting, right? You have a tendency of highlighting important points, underlining important points, so that when you revise, you should focus more on those points. Yes or no? That's how the students study. Irrespective of whether it is a South India student or North India student, the mentality of student is same only, okay? How they study. The approach is going to be same only. So this is how you guys study. This is how we have also studied. So wherever the important phrases are there, I have already highlighted them in red color. Okay. I have already highlighted them in red color. If you want to further do a painting, you can take a highlighter and do the painting. Okay. You can do it whatever you want to do. But I have done my job at my end in the entire book, not only in 1 or 2 chapters. Thirdly, firstly, the book is in blue color. Secondly, important points are in red color. Thirdly, if there are some case laws, because in CA final you have to learn case laws, the High Court judgments, the Supreme Court judgments, which were not relevant in CA Inter. In CA Inter, you would have done 1 or 2 case laws in income tax like Manjula Jesha and all, right? You would have heard the name of that lady, Manjula Jesha. Have you heard? Please. Heard or not? In capital gains, indexation, something like that was there, right? That was 1 or 2 case laws were there in CA Inter, right? In CA final, it's not like that. There are a lot of case laws. There are more than 100 case laws which are there in your CA final syllabus. And those have specific weightage in the examination. Okay. Specifically, one question come on that. So all the case laws which are there in the book are colored in blue color. So whenever you see blue color in your book, your mind will automatically recognize that it is a case law. Okay. And then last but not least, we have put a lot of efforts to make this book. And last but not least, whatever is the latest Budget Finance Act amendments 2024. Okay. So always remember, whenever an amendment comes, that becomes absolutely important. Whether an amendment is big or whether an amendment is small, whether an amendment is significant or insignificant, it is important. So wherever there is an amendment made in the Finance Act 2024, latest budget, you will get all those amendments in the green color. In the very first lecture today, we are going to do this amendment today. Okay. So you will get everywhere. Wherever it is green color, just make sure that it is a latest amendment, so that on the day of examination, if you want to run through the amendments, you don't have to search in the book, right? Wherever is the green color, you will see that this is an amendment. Okay. I hope it is clear to all of you. So this is how we have designed our book, and this is how we have tried our best. We have given our days and night to make this book. Now, still this book is in progress because of the budget. The latest amendments I'm going to put in the next few days, and then I'll put in the printing and I will send you the hard copy. Okay, don't worry. But as of now, I cannot send you the hard copy because just now the budget has come. So this is going to be the Bible for you. This book is going to be the Bible for you on the day of examination. Okay. And even in the study leave, you can read it from here. There is no issue in that. So detailed book will be for in-depth analysis, and this book will be for your revision purpose. Is it clear till here to all of you? Please tell me. Shall I go ahead? Now, the third and the last thing that I would like to say is understanding a concept in detail is one thing. Remembering that is another thing. And the most important thing in CA final is about application of the provision. I know the provision. I also by-hearted the provision. I remembered the provision, but I'm not able to apply when a question comes. Then it is of no use. Okay. All your efforts of setting lectures, of studying for months and months will go in vain. It's of no use. Therefore, I personally believe that the most important aspect for a CA final student, especially in practical paper like direct tax, indirect tax, FR, SFM, is practical questions. They have to practice all kind of practical questions that are possible in this world. For that purpose, you will be given one question bank covering all the questions of ICAI, all ICAI questions. Whatever is there in the 2500 pages of ICAI, all of them are covered in your question bank. Okay. Not only covered, all of them are covered with a star category. 5-star questions, 4-star questions, and 3-star questions. Okay, so that on the day of examination, it's easy for you to select them. You cannot do all the questions a day before exam, right? You have to select few of them. So according to me, whichever is more important, I have given them 5-star. Whichever are less important, I have given them 4-star, and least important, I have given 3-star. Now, all the questions which are there in the ICAI material, we are going to do in the class. You don't worry about it. It's not that I've just put it in the book. And for the sake of putting in the book, and I will tell you this is an homework. I don't believe in giving homework to my students. Okay. Palani, who is one of your classmate, was my student earlier. He knows that. Okay. Now he's preparing for CMA. He's already cleared his group 2. Okay. So he knows about it. So now he's again joined the class because he wants to do CMA for next year, and there are a lot of amendments. So he knows that whatever I am saying, he will agree to that. Even if I am saying 1% wrong, he has the right to say that you are saying this wrong. Okay. So, all the ICAI material questions will be segregated into 3 parts. Chapter wise it will be there. All questions will be there chapter wise, and within every chapter there will be 3 types of questions. 5-star, 3-star, 4-star. We are going to do 3-star questions also, 4-star also, 5-star also. Maybe 3-star questions I will tell you all to try first and then I will do. Okay. 4-star question I will tell you all to try first and then I will do. Maybe 5-star question I will do myself because that will be something tricky. So I have to explain that in detail. So I'll explain each and every question to you. Okay. Now, after that, the second type of questions which are there which will be there in your book will be latest Finance Act questions. If there are some amendments in some provision, like there are a lot of amendments in capital gains this year, you would have heard, right? First, they removed indexation and then they again brought back indexation for few category of people. Are you aware of this? Please tell me. So there can be a lot of questions over here. Okay. Like, let me give you one example. First, they said that from 23rd of July, nobody will get indexation, right? This is what they said. And everybody has to pay 12.5% tax on long-term capital gains. Now, the people agitated like anything. People raised voice. People started cursing the finance minister, okay, and CBDT. So now they have revoked to some extent, okay, that for individual HUF, if they are resident, if they purchase property, if they purchase real estate, if they purchase before 23rd July, then they will get indexation, but subject to that, they should not incur loss. If there is a loss, we will not give you indexation. So they have revoked to a great extent, but they have revoked, but only for a selected case, not for everybody. Okay. So there can be a lot of possibilities which can come. Plus, you are born at a very wrong time. Why I am saying so? All those who are giving exams in this attempt. The reason is they are removing indexation from 23rd of July. What does it mean? It means if somebody sells in the month of April and May, right? Or in the month of June, correct? Then you have to apply the indexation, correct or not? But if you sell after 23rd July, then you don't have to apply. So as a student, what are we supposed to learn? Please tell me. What do you think? What are we supposed to learn? We are supposed to learn both. Unfortunately, our books should contain both. And there are plethora of amendments in this year. Plethora, not one or two. Where the amendment is made from between the year. There are a lot of amendments where the amendment has been made from 1st October 2024. There are some amendments where amendments are made from 1st of Jan 2025. I have kept everything ready. My book is absolutely complete. I was just waiting for the Finance Act, and everywhere, wherever it is applicable from a particular date, I have made two provisions. This provision till this date, from this date, this provision in green color. Are you able to understand or not? Please tell me. So everything will be precisely mentioned. You don't have to work anything at your end. You have to just follow the book and study. That's it. So they have made our life difficult, but that life is difficult for every CA student. Okay, not only for you or me. So we will try to find opportunity out of that difficulty by making the things easier for us as compared to others. We will try to make our book very beautiful, very organized as far as all the amendments are considered. Wherever there are in between amendments, we will put both the provisions. Till this date, this amendment, from this date, this amendment. So that you have absolute clarity that which amendment is applicable from which date. Okay. So there are a lot of questions that can be made on the latest Finance Act. So we will make that question and we will give it to you, and it will be there as a part of your question bank. Okay. And the third thing, according to me, the most important part of the question bank, which nobody does in this country, and that is we are going to, after our batch completes, I'll give you around 2 days holiday. Okay. After the batch is completed. 2 days holiday or 1 week holiday or 3 weeks holiday or whatever you will say, I will give that much holiday. Okay. And after that, I will tell you, you have 1 week holiday, you have 2 week holiday, you have to revise the entire subject. Okay. Because we are done with the syllabus. Now revise the entire subject. And after that, we are going to solve 8 revision test papers of ICAI. Okay. Past 8 attempt revision test paper from November 2020 to May 2024. Okay. And by that time, even November 24 RTPs will come. Okay. So till November 2000 RTPs, last 8 attempts, so that we should test ourselves, na, whether we have whatever we have learned in the last 2-3 months, are we able to what? Apply or not in the examination? Yes or no? And even my test will be there, right? But whatever I have taught you, are the questions according to that or not? Or questions are something else only? Yes, whatever I have taught you, the questions has to be according to what we have done in the class. And it has to be according to what is there in your color book and detail book. It cannot be something else. So it will be my test also. So 8 RTPs we are going to do. Along with that, 10 mock test papers we are going to solve in class. Okay. ICAI mock test paper of last few attempts. And last 6 attempts exam papers. Okay. Including November 2024 exam paper if the exam is completed by that time. Okay. So around 24 papers I am going to solve with you in the class. Okay. And that will be over and above these questions which are going to do in the class. Okay. So these circle questions will be done along with the batch, and this will be done after the batch completes. I'll give you some time to revise because you would need time. Otherwise, you will not do justice with those questions. Okay. So we will be keeping separate live session only. Don't worry about it. Okay. For you all. And that will be recorded for the Google Drive students. So this is how we are going to go about with our batch for the next few months. Now, this is what I'm going to do throughout the batch. In the meanwhile, in the batch, if you're attending live lecture, you can definitely ask me questions, but probably if possible, ask me questions at the end of the lecture, because if you ask me questions in between, that will, how can I say that? That will interrupt our lecture. If the question is very important, you can ask me in between also. There are 2 modes to ask the question. You can directly ask with your voice also. I have kept the voice open. Okay. Or if you don't want to ask through voice, you can also put in the chat box. I am looking at the chat box all the time. Okay. You can ask in either of the way. Now, last but not least, this is what we are going to do in the batch. Now, what about, sir, after batch what? After batch. See, here the real problem comes for the South Indian students, especially who don't understand Hindi. Okay. You will go to YouTube, you will find out lot of revision videos, lot of this video, that video, this video, that video. But most of them you will get in Hindi only, right? In English, you are not going to get much. it is our policy that every video that comes in Hindi, we put in English also. Every video, or else we don't do. Okay. Whatever we don't do for both the students. And whatever we do for both the students. That is our policy. You can go to our YouTube channel and see CA Aarish Khan. You will get revision videos in English for all the chapters. You will get MCQ videos for English, ICIs, MCQs. You will get latest RTPs, latest MTPs, everything in English along with Hindi. Fortunately, I can speak both the language, so I can put in both the language. So for you all also, don't worry about it. My support will be there till the very last day of the exam. You don't have to worry about it. Okay. So don't worry about it. Obviously, the revision videos will not come now. It will come later on after the batch completes. Not now, obviously, because right now, so I don't have time only to put revision videos because I am taking 3 to 4 batches in a day. So these 3 months are going to be very hectic for me because these 3 months we put more efforts in making books and taking lectures. After the batch completes, for the next 4-5 months, then we put efforts in what? Giving you after sale service, like putting videos on YouTube, solving your doubts. Okay, whatever latest RTPs, latest suggested answer comes on the ICI websites, if some amendments come, then all those things, it is my duty to address you all. Okay, you don't have to worry about it. Last but not least, after the lecture, if you have any doubts, you can WhatsApp me on 900 900 okay, the number through which you have taken your admission also, I guess. Okay, or you can also join our Telegram channel. Our team would have sent you the link of the Telegram channel. There also you can put your doubts. But if you want to ask personally, you can ask here also. It's all okay. Okay, you can WhatsApp here. And if you're not able to understand completely, then you can give a call also. I will try to receive. And if I'm not able to receive, I will try to call you back. Okay, don't worry about it. So these are the few things that I had to say before I always commence my batch, that I need to be very clear with my students what exactly I'm going to do to you all, and you can just see after few months that all these things are done or not, and all these things are written in your book also. Okay, in the first chapter, whatever is my commitment, you will find in the index only that what are my commitments I have already written. If I'm not able to do any of the things out of this, you can definitely come and question me. Sir, you have written this, why you have not done this to us? Okay. So now let us go ahead with the subject now. The name of your subject, that is paper 4, is what? What is the name of your subject in CA final? It is direct tax and international tax. Correct? This is the name of your subject as per the institute. In CA Inter, the name of the subject was income tax. But in CA final, the name has been changed to direct tax and international tax. The reason being, in CA final, you have to study not only income tax, but also one more taxation law. Okay. So earlier in CA Inter, you have learned only one direct tax, and that is income tax. Direct tax has lot of taxes, right? Direct tax is a larger term. Indirect tax is a larger term. In that, many taxation law can come. Correct or not? Please tell me. So in direct tax, you have two laws to study. Obviously, one is income tax, which is the biggest. 99% is that only. And 1%, one more law they have introduced in the new course. In old course, it was not there. From May 2024 onwards, they have introduced a new law, which is known as Black Money Law 2015. Black Money Act 2015. So in 2015, the government of India has brought a new law, Black Money Act 2015. So institute wants you to study that also as a CA final student. Okay, that we are going to do at the end of the syllabus, not now. But your majority syllabus is income tax only. Okay. So let us start with the discussion of income tax from today onwards. It is going to be a beautiful journey. I understand that all those who are attending live lectures, the life is going to be slightly hell for you all because the lectures are going to be too long. But one thing, you should take it as an advantage that it will be only 2 days. Okay. Rest 5 days, you are going to get time to revise the subject, which is very, very big thing. Okay. So take an advantage. If it is hell for you, it is hellfire for me because I have to speak for 5 hours to 8 hours. Okay. You have to listen for 5 hours to 8 hours. For me, it is more difficult. And English is a subject which is not my day-to-day language. Okay. So I have to think and speak in English. So that is more difficult for me. So I would request all of you, all those who are attending live, don't miss a single lecture. You can realize if you miss single lecture, you're going to miss lot of concepts. It's not a 3-hour lecture, okay? It's going to be 5 to 8 hour lecture. Some days if you miss 8-hour lecture, you might miss 2-3 small topics, okay? So don't miss any lecture. With discipline, attend the lecture and complete the batch with me only. You will praise yourself after the completion of the batch that I have done a good job of completing the batch with sir only. Okay. Because you would have realized if you have taken Google Drive, right? Recording lectures. Have you taken any recording lectures of any subject? Yes. You would have realized na a 3-hour lecture completes in 10 hours, right or not? Yes. In between you have to take a break. Okay. In between somebody calls. In between you go for dinner also. There is no discipline. Yes or no? We are human beings. We have to accept this fact. But in life, you are forced to sit in front of me and you have to pressurize yourself. You have to pressurize yourself. Okay. That I will complete the batch live only. I will not see a single lecture in the form of a backup. Even though you are going to get backup, don't worry. You are going to get backup of the entire subject. Once you can watch once again. Okay. You can give it to your friends also if you want. Okay. That I am watching live. You watch it through my backup. You can do that. Many students do that also. I have no worry in that. But make it a discipline that we will try to complete live only. That would be great for you, okay? Because group 2, I can say 60% of your group 2 is direct tax only. 60%. In group 2, there are 3 papers. IDT is a small subject, okay, compared to direct tax. GST is a small subject. IBS anyways, you are not going to do any classes for that, right? Most of the students do self-study only for that. There is no classes available for that. Even if it is available, that is a fraud. Nobody can teach you IBS. One teacher cannot be expert of 5 subjects. That is not possible. Okay. Therefore, IBS everybody does from the ICI case study booklet only. I'll speak about IBS also in my subject. Because in your CA final IBS, around 30 to 35% is direct tax only. In exam, 30 to 35% of IBS paper will be from direct tax only. Direct tax has a very dominant role to play in IBS. So you have to learn this subject very conceptually so that you can tackle IBS also easily. Okay. So therefore, make sure that you follow discipline. You guys are disciplined. I know that. Okay. But still, I would like to again say that even for the most important reason you have to miss the class, don't miss. That's what I would like to say. Live classes don't miss. That would be great for you. I have to take the lectures. Even if you don't come, I will take the lecture. I don't want any student to take lectures. I can take lectures without anybody also. But it would be very difficult for you to listen the lectures without me. Okay. So make sure that you complete it live. All those who are listening in recording, I plead in front of you, please make a schedule. We will provide you the index of lectures, which topic is in which lecture, how many hours is there in which topic. We'll provide you the index, follow that and try to complete it ASAP. Try to complete in 2 months. If you're watching recording, try to complete in 2 months. I'll just try to tell you, one of my student was there of last attempt. He took the batch of direct tax, which is approximately 225 hours. He took the batch on 5th of March. He completed the batch on 20th of March, recording. Okay. In 15 days, I asked him, how did you complete this? Are you just keeping it like a spam lecture open and just roaming here and there or what? So he said, no, sir, I watched all your lectures. I used to see 3 lectures in a day. Okay. And he cleared in May 2024 with 73 marks. So you have to show that discipline if you are watching a recording lecture also. Okay. You have to show. Otherwise, the batch will go on and on and on. And then you will start to make wrong decisions. That I will only give group 2. I will only give group 1. All those things will land you nowhere. Please show discipline for next few months and it will be very great for you. Okay. So coming back to the discussion, let us start with income tax. I may ask you some questions also. Please try to answer to the extent it is possible. Palani, if possible, you don't answer. Okay. Because you have already know a lot of things what I'm going to say. So my questions are mainly to the other students. There are 2 types of economy in any part of the world. One is known as dependent economy, one is known as independent economy. Dependent economy means which is dependent on the citizens of the country to run. Okay. One more thing I would like to say before I start, sorry, because Vishnu Priya is writing. You don't have to write anything, Vishnu Priya, as of now. Okay. Everything is there in the book. Wherever a difficult concept will come, we will try to simplify in the form of chart, and that time I will tell you that you have to write it down. Okay. So for that purpose, you make one notebook of 200 pages maximum, not more than that. Okay. Right now, don't write anything. Just listen to me, because whatever I'm going to say, you will find all the things in your book only. Okay. Now pay attention. So there are two types of economy in this world to run the country. One is self-dependent, one is dependent. Dependent on taxpayer, not dependent on taxpayer. Like India. India is dependent on taxpayer to run the economy. United States is dependent on taxpayer to run the economy. UK is dependent on the taxpayer to run the economy. Then there are some other countries like Dubai. Dubai is not dependent on the individual taxpayers to run the economy. Now, even though Dubai has also introduced the corporate tax has been introduced in Dubai also, but individual tax is not there. If you earn 1 crore rupees in Dubai as a salary, you get 1 crore in your bank account. If you earn 1 crore rupees in our country, you will get 65 lakhs in your bank account. Okay. 35 lakhs will go to government. Because our government is not self-dependent. They are dependent on us. And unfortunately, it has happened for the very first time. I don't know, after so many decades, this year, the contribution of personal tax is more than the corporate tax this year. Generally, corporate tax in India is collected more. Anywhere in the world. Who should pay more tax? Yeah? The salaried person should pay more tax, or Reliance Industry should pay more tax? Obviously, yes, Reliance Industry should pay. But this year, for the very first time, there has been so much inequality in taxation in our country that this year personal tax collection has been more than, in absolute number, has been more than the corporate tax. It means corporates are paying less tax as compared to individuals. So my question to all of you, India is dependent on tax. There are plethora of taxes which are imposed in this country. You cannot count on your fingers that many kind of taxes which are there in our country. Now you will not feel you will not feel them now. You will start feeling them after 2 years when you will start to earn. Especially when you earn more. When you will get increment, you will curse yourself. Why the hell I am getting increment? I don't want any increment. Okay. So that time you will realize that what kind of taxes, what draconian kind of taxes are imposed in our country. I am going to speak about them very openly in the class. So my question to all of you, suppose our beloved finance minister, Nirmala Sitharamanji, feels that the current taxation system is not enough to run the economy. Okay. And suppose in the next budget in 2025, suppose, or in 2026, suppose she wants to bring a new tax, altogether a new tax like income tax, GST, stamp duty, property tax, custom duty, like that, something new if she wants to bring. Okay. Can she introduce in the parliament in the next year? If she wants to bring some new kind of tax in our country, which you and me have never ever heard. Please tell me, Vishnupriya, Niveda. Please. You have to speak, please. Don't just sit. Even if you are wrong, it's okay. Can she bring? She is not listening you. Don't get hesitate. And your voice is not coming, I guess. Oh, just wait. My speaker is... Can you please speak? I want to check whether voice is coming.
She can bring like that, sir.
She can?
Yes, sir.
She can or cannot?
Can.
She can. Okay. Niveda, what do you feel?
GST also introduced like that.
No. You are not aware of GST, how GST was introduced. I am going to say today, okay, how GST was introduced. Yes, Niveda, please.
But if provided in the articles, I think.
Excellent. Excellent, Niveda. Yes, Niveda.
She must have some
See,
power to make the law.
excellent. See, there is one article in our constitution. There is one article in our constitution, article 265. What does this article says that? Now we all are abide by constitution. Whether you are a layman or whether you are a VIP, everybody has to follow the constitution. Even the prime minister has to follow the constitution. Everybody has to follow constitution. So our constitution in article 265 says that no duties or taxes can be levied or collected by the government unless there is an authority from the constitution. So Vishnu Priya, they cannot make any taxation law, new taxation law without a power from the constitution. Without a power, they cannot bring any taxation law. Otherwise, so they can do anything in the parliament, yeah. So they can bring new tax, they can bring new law, they can bring new duties, they can impose, they can increase our burden of taxes and duties if there is a power in the constitution. Now listen carefully. And for that purpose, our constitution has been divided into three parts, which we have been learning in our schools. That is union list, correct? Second is state list. And third one is concurrent list. Union list covers what? Union list covers the matters which are in the hands of the union government. Which is the union government? Union government is the central government. So the powers of central government are given in union list. What all things a central government can do, what comes within the scope of the central government is given in the union list. What comes in the scope of the state government is given in the state list. What comes in the scope of both the government is given in the concurrent list. Now coming to income tax. Income tax is brought by the government of India in 1961. They cannot bring income tax law without a constitution giving them power. There is a power given in the constitution. Where it is given, sir? It is given in entry number 82. This entry gives the power to the government of India. If this entry would have not been there, then the government could not have brought what? The taxation law. Income tax law cannot be brought. And this entry says that income tax may be imposed on any income. The government has a power to impose income tax on any income except one income. Only one income is excluded from the Constitution of India on which the central government cannot see. The central government cannot impose tax, and that is agricultural income. Income tax as per entry number 82. If somebody asks you tomorrow, where does the power to impose income tax comes from? Say entry number 82. On which all income they can impose income tax? Say on any income except agricultural income. Is it clear to all of you? Please tell me. So, if they want any new tax, they have to amend the constitution first. Okay, they cannot directly bring a new tax without amending a constitution. I'm just trying to tell you the entire background today first. I'm not going to start with business and profession immediately. First of all, I'm going to entirely teach you how exactly a law is made, because ultimately taxation, income tax is also a law, and you should make the lawmaking. You should know the lawmaking process. Without that, your foundation will always be weak. You will never appreciate why these things are happening in the law. So today's lecture is to make your foundation very strong. Similarly, there is one entry number. Is there a custom law in this country to impose custom duty? Is there a custom law to impose custom duty? Please tell me. Is there a customs law in this country, Customs Act in this country to impose custom duty on import and export? Yes, it is there. So from where does the power comes? Power comes from entry number 83, just for your information. Okay. Vishnu Priya, you cannot impose any new tax by your own whims and fancies. Finance Minister is not God. Okay. Finance Minister cannot bring any new taxation without the power from the Constitution. Is there an excise law in this country? Yes, it is there. The power to impose excise comes from entry number 84. Okay. Like that, there are a lot of taxes and duties which are there. Pay attention, please. Very beautiful discussion it is. There are a lot of taxes and duties. Pay attention, please, which are imposed from entry number 82 to entry number 96. Okay. From where to where? From 82 to 96, different kind of direct taxes are imposed. Okay. Stamp duty, and not stamp duty, sorry, wealth tax is imposed. Some different kind of taxes are there. Some of them are omitted also. So entry number 82 to entry number 96 is your specific entries. Listen carefully. Specific entries means every entry will talk about one taxation law. Entry number 82 income tax, 83 custom law, 84 excise duty. I'll come to GST also, Vishnu Priya, which you have said. Vishnu Priya said that GST also came like that only. It did not came like that. You will come to know in today's lecture. Okay. It did not came like that. Sir, entry number 96 is the last entry? No. It is the last specific entry. Specific last entry. I would like to ask you some questions which you guys might be aware of. I will only ask you initially at least those questions which you are used to. I'm not going to make it very technical for you all initially. But as the time goes, you will grab knowledge in the subject. Then we can raise our bar. Okay? Not initially. Do you know there is something called a securities transaction tax? Right? Which is imposed on what? Purchase and sale of shares in the stock market. Right? Under which law it is imposed? Which law? Is there any law called as Securities Transaction Act? Sir, maybe it is there. We have not put so much efforts and in understanding and knowing all these things. You only say, maybe it might be there, sir. We don't know. Yes or no? As a student, you will think this only. So, is there any commodity transaction tax which is imposed on purchase or sale of commodities in the commodity exchange? Acha, is there any health and education cess which is imposed on income tax, right? So, my question is, under which law these are imposed? Where is the law for these things? Is there any law? And forget about law, from where the government of India is getting the power to impose these things? Under which entry of the constitution? Yes or no? Under which entry of the constitution they are imposing STT, CTT, or under which entry of the constitution they are imposing what? They are imposing health and education cess. So for that purpose, the constitution, the drafter of the constitution around 77 years back, when they draft the constitution, they have put one entry over here, entry number 97, which is called as a residuary entry. What is called as residuary entry? And it is written over here, any items which are not mentioned above, it can be covered in this particular entry. But any item, listen carefully, yeah? Listen, you have to listen completely. Palani, see here, don't write anything. Any item which is not mentioned in the above entries, it can come over here, but there is a condition. Condition is only small taxation can come over here, not very big, where the revenue is not huge, okay, where you don't have to establish a separate department, okay, where you don't have to make a separate structure for that entire law. Small taxation, if you want to bring, you can bring through entry number 97. And for those small taxation, you don't have to bring a separate law. In whichever finance budget, you will announce them. In whichever finance budget, you will announce them. For example, STT was announced by P. Chidambaram in 2004. Okay? In 2004, STT was announced by P. Chidambaram. So, in whichever finance bill, in whichever budget it will be announced, in that year, a finance act will be passed, right? Yes or no? So, that taxation will be covered as a part of that finance act only. So, if somebody asks you, where is STT covered? You say it is covered in Finance Act 2004. Are you clear? Please tell me. There is no separate law for STT, like income tax, like GST, like custom, like excise. GST, custom, excise and income tax are big laws. The revenue from this is in lakhs of crore. There is a separate administration required for that. But there is no separate department of STT in your income, in your area or in your city. Have you seen there is a department of STT? Have you seen a department of commodity transaction tax? No. That is taken care of by the existing department only. Therefore, the government has the power to impose small taxes through entry number 97. Okay. And they don't have to bring any separate law. The relevant finance act will take care of it. Is everyone clear with this? Please tell me. The GST wala point I will discuss today. That is a part of my discussion. Okay. In the later half of the lecture. Now, coming back to, so this gives power to which government? Central government. Union government. Union means central. Why it is called as union government? Because India is declared as a union of states. Okay. There are different kind of structures. One is called as federal structure. Okay. Federal. One is called as union structure. America is a federal structure. United States. There every state is a separate law. Every state. Do you know that California has its own taxation law? Los Angeles has its own taxation law. But in India, it is not. It's a union. One government will take care of everything. Okay. And that's the reason it is known as union government. That's the reason when you see the budget, it is called as union budget. Yes. You see the name of the budget, which was released on 23rd of July. That is called as union budget. Why it is called as union budget? Because there is separate state budget also. Do you know that every state has its own finance minister? Right? Even states have finance minister. Even states can impose taxes only to the extent it is given in the state list. Can you give me some examples of the taxation which are exclusively imposed by the states? Example of some taxations? Please. Niveda, can you name at least one? Or else I will say.
Tax, property tax,
Property tax, excellent. Stamp duty,
stamp duty.
correct? Stamp duty, how much stamp, which state you are from, Niveda? Tamil Nadu?
Sir. Tamil Nadu.
How much is the stamp duty in your city? Not aware? Okay. It will be around 5 to 6%, okay? 5 to 6%. Vishnupriya, you are from Tamil Nadu only? Chennai? Coimbatore? Okay. Palani, you are from Chennai. How much is the stamp duty in Chennai? Don't know. You are becoming chartered accountant and you don't know the stamp duty in your city? Chalo, it's okay. So stamp duty is a state government revenue, absolutely state government. If they want to make any changes in that, the finance minister of the state can make the changes in the budget, okay? But as a citizen of this country, we are not interested in the state finance minister. We don't know the name also, okay? Even I don't know the state finance minister of Maharashtra. Whom is he? Who is whom? So I am interested in the union finance minister because there the main announcements are done over there only. Now coming to concurrent list, in concurrent list, those taxes will come which are generally regulated by both the government, okay? And both the government jointly decides whether to increase, whether to decrease, whether to drop, whether to bring new taxation, which is done by the both the government, okay? So this is how the structure of the democratic country has to be. If you are not a democratic country, then you don't need all these things, okay? Then one person will decide everything, what will come, what will not come. So in a democratic country, the constitution will decide everything, not one person. Now, coming back to the income tax, we are more interested in the income tax. Now we have income tax power from here, entry number 82. Suppose the government got the power from entry number 82. Now what is the next thing that the government will do? After they got the power, listen carefully. After they got the power, the next thing they will do is, they will make a committee. They'll make a committee and that they will delegate the committee the powers to draft a law, okay? And they will tell the committee that now it is your duty to draft income tax law for us, okay? And that committee will draft income tax law. Obviously, before making a law, you have to make a draft now first. You cannot directly make a law and pass it in the parliament. It's not possible. Even budget is a proposal, right? On 23rd July, the budget came. Okay. On 7th August, the Finance Act is passed. In 14 days, they have made more than 35 amendments. How many? More than 35 amendments. Whatever they have proposed on 23rd of July, in that 35 places, they have changed the commitments. Okay. In 14 days. So budget is a proposal. Budget is not final. That's the reason when the finance minister speaks in the parliament, she uses the word, I propose to do this. I propose to do that. I'm not doing that. I'm proposing. Okay. I will be doing that when it is passed in the parliament. So therefore, every law has to pass through a process of making a draft, which can go on for years and years and years and years and years. After the draft is ready, the draft will be given to the public, to the citizens of this country for review. That what are your points? What are your issues in this? If you have any issue, you can raise it. They will give it to different organizations like Institute of Chartered Accountant of India. They will give to big companies. They will give to big CA firms and they will take their opinion that what can be the possible changes that we can make. And after all these things, a final law is made. Now the final law is ready. What shall be done after this? You have to take this final law to the parliament and you have to pass it. Okay. And in parliament, there are two houses. Which two houses? Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Is it clear? Lok Sabha is also called as lower house and Rajya Sabha is called as upper house. Okay. They have to pass this first in Lok Sabha and then in Rajya Sabha. Okay. So they have to pass this law first in Lok Sabha, then in Rajya Sabha. 51% majority has to be there, at least. Okay. If 51% majority is there, it is absolutely fine. The law is passed. And then at the end, one small formality has to be done. That is, you have to go to the President of India to take what? To take the approval. Is it clear, all of you? Please tell me. So this is how a law is made. You see the process. Power will come from constitution. After that, a committee will make a draft. It will give for review to the people of this country. Then the law will be ready. After that, it will be passed in Lok Sabha, then Rajya Sabha, and then the president will give an approval. And then the law will be notified through an official gazette and it will be applicable from a particular date. Okay. It will be applicable from a particular date. And income tax is also applicable from a particular date. That date I'm going to say in the next 10 minutes. So now we are going to start with our Income Tax Act. We have got the power? Yes. From where we have got the power? Entry number 82. Have we enacted the law? Yes, it is enacted long back, around 65 years back. It is already made, right? So now we are going to study with our Income Tax Act. What is the name of the law? What is the name of the law? Say na please. Your voice is not coming, I guess. Please unmute when you say. Palani, say something.
Income Tax Act 1960.
Yeah, I can listen you. Okay, when you say, please unmute. So the name of the law is Income Tax Act 1961. Okay. Now in Income Tax Act, I'll just tell you the structure of the law first. There are 23 chapters. Chapters? Yes. Every book needs chapters, yaar. I cannot tell you that this is an income tax law of 500 pages. There is no chapter. Everything is income tax. Okay. I also know everything is income tax, but it has to be segregated into different parts now. Yes. That this chapter is computation, this chapter is deduction, this chapter is set off carry forward of losses, this chapter is return filing provisions, this chapter is TDS provision, this chapter is appeal provision. You have to segregate, yaar. Can I give you a book for studying in CA final without index? I cannot do that, right? There has to be an index. An index will tell you exactly which concept is given in which chapter. Similarly, every law has chapters. In income tax, there are 23 chapters. One of the famous chapters which you have learned in your office also, in your inter CA also, that is deductions under chapter 6A. Right? So income tax is also segregated into chapters and chapters. In chapters, there will be sections. Because it's a law, there has to be sections. And there are 298 sections in income tax law. Sir, we are not interested in how many sections are there in the income tax law. Sir, please tell us how many are there in the exams. Okay. That we are more interested. See, don't ask such questions in CA final. All these questions are relevant in CA inter. In CA final, everything is there. Okay. All 298 sections. Don't ask such things. All of them are there. Yes. Everything is there. So in CA final, there is no selection of section. The entire act is there in your syllabus. Okay. It's not that few of the sections are not relevant. It's not like that. So it is divided into chapter and every chapter is divided into sections. Now, apart from the Income Tax Act, there is also the Income Tax rules, which is 1962. Now, what is the difference between an act and a rule? An act will tell you the provision. Listen carefully. An act will tell you the provision that the income tax return has to be filed by 31st of July of the assessment year. This will tell you the provision. But the rule will tell you the procedure. that it has to be filed in ITR 1, it has to be filed in ITR 2, ITR 1 will be filed by these people, ITR 2 will be filed by these people, ITR 4 will be filed by these people. The procedure is not given in the act. The procedure is given in what? Please tell me. It is given in the rules. So the rules are made for making the law practical in our day-to-day life. Okay. The act is made by whom? The act is passed by the parliament. Okay. Any changes in the act has to be done in the parliament. Has to be done through Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, parliament, through president, approval of the president. This entire process has to be followed to amend an act. Okay. And that's the reason Income Tax Act does not change every year, every month. It changes every year. Every month it doesn't have any amendment. It will change on a year-to-year basis. But income tax rules are passed by CBDT. Who is CBDT? CBDT is nothing but central government only. Okay. Which comes under the Government of India, Ministry of Finance. So the rules are made by CBDT. Rules can be made every day. By the end of this lecture, maybe some rules are notified by CBDT, which are relevant for this year. Okay, by the end of next week, there will be hundreds of new rules which are implemented by CBDT. But there will not be any changes in the act now. Now, directly the changes will happen in the next February. Okay. Now, I have a question to you all. I guess you should be knowing the answer, but still I would like to ask you once. If there is a conflict between act and rule, who shall prevail? Please tell me. Suppose the act and rule, sometimes there might be some conflict. If there is a conflict, who will prevail? Act will prevail. Always act will prevail. Okay, not rules. Because act is made by parliament. Yes or no? And the rules are made by CBDT. So act will always override the rules. And if there is a disparity, there is a difference between the two, the provisions of act will prevail over the provisions of what? Over the provisions of rules. Is it clear, all of you? Please tell me. So 298 sections. Let us start with the journey of 298 sections with the very first section. And that is what? Section number 1. Section 1. Now, what is section 1 of any act? Any guess? Unmute yourself if you are speaking, beta, please. What is section 1 of any act?
Title, applicability.
Excellent. It talks about short title. Okay. It talks about extent and applicability. Everything is there in the book. I'm going to read it with you all. Don't worry. Okay. And commencement. These are the three things which are there in any taxation law, or in fact any law. Whether it's a taxation law or whether it is a non-taxation law, every law will have these three things as your first section. Okay. So the very first thing that I'm going to say to you all is commencement. From which date income tax law is commenced? It is commenced from 1st April 1962. Okay. 1st April 1962. Now a question will arise. Why 1962? Why not 1961? This is because income tax is with reference to your assessment year. Okay. So when I say it commences from 1/4/1962, it means it is commencing from AY 1962-63, which is your previous year 1961-62. Is it clear to all of you? Please tell me. So when I say it is commencing from 1/4/1962, it means assessment year 62-63, previous year 61-62. Is it clear? Please tell me. Now one doubt comes to a lot of students' mind. Listen carefully. Sir, Income Tax Act came in India in 1961. Was there no income tax before 1961? Before 1961, taxation law was not there. What do you feel? Was there a taxation income tax before 1961, or it came for the very first time in India in 1961? Please tell me. Any idea? No idea. No idea? Tell me fast. At least nod your head if you don't want to speak. No idea. Okay. Vishnu Priya, please say something in life. You have to speak. Okay. You can keep unmute. Is there disturbance around you? If disturbance is there, then don't keep unmute. Then mute only. If there is no disturbance, keep it unmute. Now, So a lot of students ask me this question, sir, when was the income tax law came in India for the very first time? So let me give you the history. It came for very first time in 1816. It was brought by a British viceroy. Okay. Then it was changed in 1874. Then it was again changed in 1884. Then it was again changed in 1886. Then it was again changed in 1918. And then for the very last time before independence in 1922. And then we got independence in 1947, and in 1961 the income tax law was introduced in the Republic of India. Okay. So don't be under an impression that income tax law came in India in 1961. No, 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 no. It did not came in India for the very first time in 1961. Yes, in independent India, it was introduced in 1961. Yes, in independent India, it was introduced in 1961. But before that also, there was a law in 1922, which was known as the Indian Income Tax Act 1922. That law was called as Indian Income Tax Act 1922. Next, pay attention, please. Coming back to this discussion. So this law is commenced from 1/4/1962. Okay. Now what is the name of this law? Every book should have a title. It should have a title or not? Have you seen any book without a title? It's a plain cover. Nothing is read on the cover. Cover page is plain. Have you seen any book like that in your life except your notebooks? Every written book, your notebook can be plain. Okay, because there is nothing written inside that. But every printed book should have one title. Yeah, there has to be some title to the book. So same way income tax also should have a title. So the law says that the short title of this act is, it is written in section 1. This act may be called as the Income Tax Act 1961. This act may be called as what? The Income Tax Act 1961. This is how you are going to call this law. So one day I was just thinking like that if the short title is the Income Tax Act 1961, then what is the long title of this subject? There has to be some long name also, na? If the short title is Income Tax Act 1961, so what is the long title? So when I open the income tax law, the very first page, the long name of this law is given over there on the very first page of the income tax law before section 1 starts. And the actual name of this law is, which is practically not feasible for us to speak again and again. That's the reason we say the Income Tax Act 1961. The actual name of this law is written in the section above section 1, an act to consolidate law relating to income tax and super tax, full stop. This is the name of this law. Okay. An act to consolidate law relating to income tax and super tax. But we don't have time. Nobody has time in this country to speak so much. So it can be called in short as the Income Tax Act. It will be called as an Income Tax Act. So the short title is Income Tax Act. Applicability is 1962-63, 1st April 1962. Now coming to the extent and applicability. Sorry, commencement is 1962. Now coming to extent and applicability. Where it is applicable? Please tell me where it is applicable. The Income Tax Act is applicable where? Huh? Whole of India. What about J&K? Applicable or not? J&K? Applicable. Including J&K? Vishnu Priya? Sure. No, I am not asking after Article 370 is removed. I am talking about before Article 370 was removed. That time also it was applicable in J&K? It was applicable? No idea. No idea? Okay, I'll tell you. Don't. Now though it is applicable. Now J&K is as good as any other part of this country, right? After Article 370, J&K is as good as any other part of this country. So we will understand the history of J&K in the next 10 minutes, okay? In a while. But before that, we will analyze this phrase first. This act is applicable to whole of India. So the question will arise, what is India? What do you mean by the term India? Is the term India defined under income tax law? If yes, it is defined. How it is defined? Okay. So the term India is defined in section 225A. How it is defined? Pay attention, please. India includes what, sir? I'm just making one small diagram. It will be, I'm not an expert. Okay. So understand my emotions. Please. Don't make any judgments. Okay. Suppose this is India, for example. And this is Gujarat. Okay. Here there is Mumbai. So what is India? The definition of India says that India means the landmass. The huge landmass of India is India, including the union territories. Okay. That is also India. Clear? So whatever activity if you do on the land of India, it will be said that you are doing in India and you will be liable for tax. Okay. Second, India includes, point number 2, territorial waters of India up to 12 nautical miles. So what does India include? Up to 12 miles from the shore, from the land. Okay, from the land up to 12 miles. Whatever comes in the Arabian Sea or Bay of Bengal or Indian Ocean, wherever it is, that is also India. Okay. So can you do an activity in water also? There are a lot of activities which can be done in water like fishing, etc. Correct or not? Please tell me. Fishing activity can be done in water. Then these days water sports activities are also done in water. Right? Parasailing and scuba diving, right? And sea walking and so many different kind of sea activities which are done in water. They are earning money or not in water? Please tell me. They are not earning money on land. They are earning money in Arabian Sea or Bay of Bengal or in Indian Ocean. So that is also part of India. But up to 12 miles only. Nautical miles is nothing but miles only, but when you measure in water, it is called as nautical miles. So it is nothing but miles only. Okay. So up to 12 nautical miles, whatever water is there to attach to the land of India, that will be part of India. Third, the airspace above these two. The airspace above the land, the airspace above the water is also India. Are you clear? You can earn income in the air also, especially the airline companies and all. So if you are earning any income above the landmass of India or above the territorial waters of India, that is also as good as India only. Clear? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Now, one last thing, listen. Approximately 170 kilometer from here or 170 nautical mile from here, there is an American company who is coming over here approximately 170 nautical mile over here and exploring oil. Will it be called as part of India? The answer is no. Why? Because it is not the landmass, it is not the territorial waters of India, it is not the airspace above it, it is way beyond 12 miles. Correct? Tell me, it is way beyond 12 miles or not? But the government of India knows that the activity of exploration of oil happens deep inside sea. It's not that you go to a Chennai beach and just 50 meter away from your Chennai beach, you will start finding oil and natural gas. If you want oil and natural gas, you need to go deep inside. Correct or not? Therefore, the government has added fourth point in the definition of India, which says that up to 200 nautical mile, if you do certain specific activities, not all activities, like exploration of oil, then that is also India and that will be called as exclusive economic zone. Okay. That will be exclusive economic. But exclusive economic zone is only for specific activities like exploration of oil. That's the reason the name of this area is what? Exclusive economic zone. Okay. exclusive zone for certain activities. So India definition includes 4 things: landmass, territorial waters of India up to 12 miles, airspace above these two, and the fourth is an exceptional thing, up to 200 miles only for certain activities notified by the government. Is it clear to all of you? Please tell me. So this is what your section 1 is all about. Now coming back to the section 1 once again. This law is applicable to whole of India, including JNK or excluding JNK. That you guys have said that it is including JNK, and absolutely correct. I 100% agree to you. It is absolutely correct that this law is applicable to JNK also. Why there should be any kind of relaxation to JNK, or why there should be any kind of benefit to JNK? But earlier there used to be, before Article 370 was not there, sorry. After Article 370, which was removed on 5th of August 2019, JNK is at par with any other state. But before that, it was not like that. I would like to just tell you the journey of JNK once for your information. From 1947 to 2024. 1947, when we got independence, JNK was saying that we don't want to be part of India. JNK was also saying that we don't want to be part of Pakistan also. In fact, JNK was saying that I want to be what? An independent nation. Okay. So the government of India said that what you will do by making an independent nation, such a small nation. From here India will trouble, from there Pakistan will trouble. Why don't you join us? Now they had a fear that if we join you, you guys will impose new taxes on us, new duties on us by sitting in Delhi. Okay? What they are doing these days to us. That's the concern of JNK people. The concern of JNK people was very genuine. That you will start imposing new taxes, new duties, new laws will be imposed on us sitting in Delhi. So the government said that we will not do that. We will not impose any tax on you unless you people give us an approval, unless you people want that. So the JNK people said that we don't believe politicians. You are saying today, tomorrow you will back out with your words. So the government of India said that we are not saying by words, we are saying by action. And we are saying through an article in our constitution, Article 370. We are not just saying by words. We are putting a law for you. Okay, we are putting amendment in constitution. We are making separate law for you. And there comes Article 370, which used to say that no duties or taxes shall be imposed in the state of JNK unless the Jammu and Kashmir government approves that, state government. Unless the JNK state government approves, central government cannot impose any tax on them. Forget about tax, cannot impose any law on them. Okay. So JNK people agreed. They said, yes, if you are bringing Article 370 for us, then we are ready. Okay. Listen carefully, and it's a beautiful story. So Article 370 was brought for JNK people. Now 1961 came. The government of India introduced the income tax law in Delhi. After that, they went to JNK. They have to go now to ask JNK. Please tell me. Please tell me. So they went to JNK and they asked JNK people whether you want to impose income tax. So the JNK people said that yes. For the welfare of this country, we are also ready to pay income tax. So income tax is applicable in JNK from the very first day. Okay. Irrespective of the Article 370. It has nothing to do with Article 370. It was there earlier also and now also. Then in 1962, customs came. It was applied to the whole of the nation, and then they went to JNK and they asked the JNK people whether you want to apply custom in your state. They said yes, why not? For the welfare of the country, we are ready to apply. Okay. Then came 1970s. The story is becoming interesting now. In 1970s, Indira Gandhi, the late Prime Minister of India, divided Pakistan into two parts. How, sir? Earlier, Bangladesh was also Pakistan. Okay. During independence in 1947, when partition happened, at that time, Pakistan was given two Pakistan. One West Pakistan, which is the existing Pakistan, and one Bangladesh that was also part of Pakistan. Okay. Controlled by Pakistani Prime Minister only. Understood till here? Now, Indira Gandhi thought that this Pakistan is troubling us from both the side. From north also they are troubling, from east also they are troubling. Yes. In south there is no Pakistan because there is water. Otherwise they would have troubled from there also. So Indira Gandhi provoked the Bangladeshi people. Okay. That why don't you make your separate country? Why are you dependent on Pakistan? So she provoked Bangladeshi people that you should make your own country. And in fact, she supplied Indian military to them, okay, to fight. Indian military was given to Bangladesh to fight. And the person who was fighting to get independent Bangladesh was Mujibur Rahman, the father of Sheikh Hasina, who is missing now. I hope you are aware with the current affairs. Yes or no? Are you aware with the current affairs or not of what is happening in this world? Huh? Aware or not what is happening in Bangladesh these days? Vishnu Priya? Not aware? Bangladeshi PM Sheikh Hasina, they have thrown away her from our country. Not aware of that, Niveda? Alani? Little bit, okay. Forget it. Not very important for exam. Leave it. So, Indira Gandhi supplied them Indian Army, gave support from Indian Army, and they broke Pakistan into two parts and they got independent in 70s, somewhere around 74, 75. Now, obviously Pakistan is very angry with this because India has broken them into two parts. So, from that time onwards, Pakistan started what? Hostile activities in Kashmir, in North India, Kashmir. Hostile activities, terrorism activities. And because of that, there is a lot of unrest in Jammu and Kashmir even today. Even today. Did you understand till here the story? Then came 1994. And our beloved finance minister, Manmohan Singh ji, introduced for the very first time in India service tax only on 3 services. Okay. What did he introduce? Service tax law for the very first time. Only on 3 services. And there was no separate law for service tax. There was no separate entry in the constitution. It means service tax was imposed through which entry? Please tell me. Entry number 97. Correct? And what is the law of the service tax called as? Would have been called as? If there is no entry, how will the law called as? Finance Act 1994. Correct? So, remember, there was not a separate law for service tax law. Service tax was imposed through Finance Act only. Now, listen carefully. Pay attention here. So, our beloved finance minister, after passing the law in the Delhi Parliament, he has to go to J&K, right? Correct or not? Now, what do you feel? J&K people will accept this law or they will not accept this law? Huh? They said that we don't want you go. You have just made all activity unrest over here and you have made our life hell over here. So we don't want what? Your service tax law. Go away from here. Okay. Are you clear? So till 2017, till the time GST came, service tax law was not applicable in J&K. Okay. It was never applicable. See here, beta, see here. Then 2014 came. The current government came. Okay. And one of the agenda of the current government was, BJP government, was to bring GST law. They have said that we will bring GST. Remove one nation, one tax. And we will bring GST instead of service tax and VAT and excise duty. We will merge all of them. Okay. But they know that we can bring that very easily. But what we'll do in case of J&K? Okay. So what they did in 2016, they shake hands with the J&K local government. Okay. They shake hands with whom? The J&K local government in 2016. When did GST came? 2017. Correct? GST came from July 2017. Correct or not? So at that point of time, they have already shaken hands with whom? The J&K local government. Because they are in power with J&K local government, they could easily pass that law in what? In J&K also. So in J&K also they brought that law in next 2 months. From September, I guess from September 2017, it was passed in J&K also. And then in 2018, they broke the coalition. The very reason why they got into coalition was to bring what? Bring GST law in the state of J&K. Okay. And then 2 years after that, on 5th of August 2019, we all know, and even if you don't know, you should know, that Article 370 was what? Please tell me. It was scrapped. Okay. And J&K was divided into 2 parts. One state, but they broke that state into 2 parts. Jammu and Kashmir separate, Ladakh separate. Okay. And they broke that particular thing into 2 parts, and both of them, even today after 5 years also, is in the control of central government only. It is a union territory. Okay. They have promised that they will make it a state, but so far they have not done it. Maybe in the next few years they will do it. Okay. So this is how the journey of J&K goes. Now coming to one last thing which I would like to say before we can read these things from our book, and that is Vishnu Priya has raised one question sometime before that I would like to answer. That GST law came like that only. Okay. GST law did not came like that. I have started my discussion with one very important line. No tax or duties can be imposed unless there is a power from the constitution. Okay. So to bring GST law in 2017, in September 2016, the Constitution of India was amended. Okay. In 2016, the government of India, with majority from all the party, taking approval of all the opposition parties, they first amended the constitution in 2016. Then only they were able to what? They were able to bring GST law. Otherwise, it is not possible to bring a GST law. Okay. So that's what I was saying. If you want to bring any taxation law or any law, you have to first amend what? Amend the constitution. And amending the constitution is not a cup of tea, that you are taking a cup of tea and drinking. It's not that easy. You need to have a 2/3 majority. Okay. At least 2/3 majority, and you have to take in confidence all kind of people with you. Okay. Then only you can do what? You can amend the constitution. I hope it is clear to all of you till here. Is it clear? Please tell me. So now whatever I have said in the last 1.5 hours, you will find all of them in your book. So I'll read it for you all. You can also pay attention. Till the time I'm not sending you the hard copies, I will be sending you the soft copies. Once hard copies are sent to you, then I will not send the soft copies. Pay attention, please, all of you on the board. This is your detailed book, chapter number 1, which contains introduction of the subject. The very first thing over here is, as per Article 265, this is the article which gives the power to the Constitution, which says that no law can be imposed. Okay? No law can be made to impose duties and taxes unless the Constitution gives the power. Is it clear? Please tell me. Now then, the Constitution is segregated into following 3 lists. Union list, entry number 1 to 96, specific entry, entry number 97, your residuary entry. Correct? Please say. The right to income tax comes from entry number 82. Is it clear? Then comes Lok Sabha first, then Rajya Sabha later, the process of the law. Okay. Then state list, state government, stamp duty, etc. Then securities transaction tax, health and education, all of them are imposed through entry number 97. That is, I am talking about this entry. Okay. Then comes the concurrent list where both the government will impose taxes. Okay. Then comes the act. In act there are 23 chapters, 298 sections. There is also income tax rules. Okay. And then comes your first section. The first section of every act is short title, extent, applicability. This act is applicable from 1962. This act is applicable to whole of India. Okay. And then what is the definition of India? Okay. So India includes what? The landmass. India includes what? Please repeat. Territorial waters of India up to 12 miles. Correct. And India also includes what? Airspace. No, first airspace, na? Airspace is also there, and then exclusive economic zone up to 200 miles for certain activities. Is it clear to all of you? Please tell me. Okay. So this is what your first section is all about. Is there any doubts? You guys have any doubts? If you have any doubts, you can ask me definitely. Vishnu Priya? No doubts. Niveda? No. Okay. So now let's move ahead with the second section. Now what is second section of every act generally? What is section 2 of most of the act generally? It is definitions. Yes, absolutely correct. So second section of every act is mostly definitions only. Okay. So even in income tax, there are around 98 definitions which are given in section 2. Okay. So obviously, we are not going to do all of them today. Doesn't make sense. Definitions are chapter specific. We will do with the respective chapters, but it is just my duty to tell you section 2 talks about definitions. In fact, in section 3 also under income tax law is about a definition only. Okay. Section 3 also talks about definition only under income tax law. It gives definition of a very special term, previous year. The previous year word is defined under section 3. Okay. We will see the definition sometime later. Now coming to the heart of any taxation law, that is section 4. So what is section 4 of income tax? It is charging section. So what do you mean by the term charging section? Charging section means the charging section will tell us the conditions subject to which the tax will be charged on us. Okay. This section will tell us what activities I am supposed to do so that the government can impose tax on me. Okay. For example, suppose I'm making 2 columns over here, tax/duty. And here I am writing the activity. Okay. 1. Pay attention. GST. Why GST is imposed by the government? What activity I am doing so that GST is imposed on me or any person? What all activities I have to do? Please tell me. I have to do either sale, correct? Or I have to do either manufacturing, or I have to give either service, correct? Then GST is imposed. There is some activity which I am supposed to do so that GST can be imposed by the government, correct? Second, why customs is imposed by the government on me? Customs duty? Because I am doing some import export, correct? Yes or no? Similarly, why toll tax is imposed on me? Toll tax. I have a car which is there in the garage. Will the government impose toll tax on me? No, I have to travel, na? Yes, I have to do some activity. Yes or no? I have to travel. Fourth point. Why there is a concept called as breathing tax? What? Breathing tax? Sir, what do you mean by breathing tax? Breathing tax means tax for breathing. Okay. Sir, where it is imposed, sir? In India it is imposed or what? In India it is not imposed, but it is imposed in some countries. Okay. Were you aware of this tax? Breathing tax? Tell me now, please.
No, sir.
So there is a country called as Venezuela, which is there in South America. Venezuela in South America, in that country imposes breathing tax on their airports. Only on airports, not in the entire country. So whomsoever is visiting their airport and spending time on their airport, they have to pay breathing tax. And somebody asked why you are taking such kind of hopeless taxes from people. They said that we have made an investments of billions of dollars in the form of pollution control equipment in our airports for purifying the air. So we are recovering that. That's it. So in fact, if you go to that airport, at the exit of the airport, they will give you an invoice. Okay. That this much time you have spent, and for every hour you have to pay these many dollars as breathing tax. Okay. I know that you will definitely Google this after the lecture, and you will try to identify and learn more about this law. Palani, are you there? Yes. So breathing tax is also a concept. Why it is there? Because I am breathing. As simple as that. If I stop to breathe, no breathing tax. Okay. So for every tax, there is some activity that you have to do. There is an activity which is attached to a tax. And what is that activity? That activity is said by the charging section. A charging section will speak about that activity. Okay. A charging section will tell about that activity. Okay. And therefore, the section 4 of Income Tax Act, which is the charging section, this section is the heart of any taxation law. This section will actually tell you what all things you are supposed to do so that income tax can be imposed on the taxpayer. So I'm writing the text of section 4. What is written in section 4? Total income. Listen carefully. Of a person for a previous year shall be charged or assessed to tax in the assessment year. This is what the charging section has to tell. If you fulfill these 2.5 lines, income tax will be imposed on you. Okay. So every taxpayer who is paying tax in this country has to fulfill these 2.5 lines. Okay. Now there are lot of important things in this. It will take around 1.5 hours to analyze this line. So you have to pay absolute attention. It's not a very general line. There are a lot of technical words over here. A question will arise. What do I mean by total income? A question will arise. What do I mean by previous year? Person. A question will arise. What do you mean by previous year? A question will arise. What do I mean by assessment year? We need to define all the terms one by one. Okay. So what is person? What is total income? What is previous year? What is assessment year? We need to define all of them one by one. Before I start to define these terms which I have circled, I would like to first of all explain something simple. What do I mean by charge or assess to tax? When tax is charged, a tax for a person is charged in the assessment year. Correct? Yes or no? A tax is always charged in the assessment year. Reason being very simple. During the previous year, I cannot know how much is my income. Today, I cannot compute income of 2024-25 because 24-25 is yet to complete. Unless and until 24-25 is completed, I will not be able to identify my taxation. So in the assessment year, I am going to be charged, not in the previous year. In the previous year, I will earn. In the assessment year, I will charge. I will pay the tax. I will compute the tax. So what is tax, sir? Tax is a function of two things. Income tax is equal to what? It's a function of two things. You have to compute your total income and then you have to multiply that with the rate of tax. Correct? This is how you are going to compute your income tax. Whatever is your total income, multiply that with the rate of tax. Are you clear or not? Please tell me. So we need to analyze both the terms now. What is total income? What is rate of tax? Total income I will analyze after 5-10 minutes. First, I am interested in rate of tax. I want all of you to answer me, please. From where do I get the rate of tax? Please tell me. Can you please tell me? From where do I get the rate of tax? If I tell you as a student, search me the rate of tax for this year, from where will I get?
Sir.
Yes, Vishnu Priya? Don't know? Arey, it's okay, Baba, even if you don't know.
Also income tax and income tax.
Excellent, Vishnupriya.
Study.
Yes, Niveda, excellent. So for rate of tax, there are two sources. Always there are two sources. Okay. Some rates are there under the Finance Act. Okay. Some rates are there under the Income Tax Act. Sir, what's the difference between the two? Let me tell you. Why they have made such kind of khichdi. Some tax rates are in Finance Act, some are in Income Tax. Why the hell they cannot put everything at one place? Yes or no? It will be very easy for the taxpayer to search also. Why they have done such things? That some of them are there in the Finance Act, some of them are there in the Income Tax Act. Reason, listen. In Finance Act, the tax rates which are given now, those are person based tax rates. Okay? Person based. What do I mean by person based? What is the tax for individual? What is the tax for HUF? What is the tax for AOP? What is the tax for BOI? What is the tax for firm? What is the tax for LLP? What is the tax for company? Are you understanding? For every person, what is the tax rate? That is given in the Finance Act. Okay? Why it is given in the Finance Act? That also logic I'll tell you. First I told you which rates are given in Finance Act. Person based, correct? Now I will tell you the logic why it is given in Finance Act. The reason why it is given in Finance Act is, do you feel or not, these are the rates which generally fluctuates on a year-to-year basis? Individual tax rates fluctuates or not over the years? Yes?
Yes, yes, sir.
There is no consistency in that. In the last 2-3 years, see what Finance Minister has done. Sometimes she is giving old regime, sometimes she is giving new regime, sometimes she is increasing. Earlier, the old regime was 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh, 5 lakh to 7.5 lakh, 7.5 lakh to 10 lakh, 10 lakh to 1250, 1250 to 15, right? Then she changed last year from 3 lakh to 6 lakh, 6 to 9, 9 to 12, 12 to 15. Now this year she again changed 3 lakh to 7 lakh. Are you aware of this? Are you aware of this? Even if you don't aware, don't worry, it's a part of our syllabus. So 3 lakh to 7 lakh now new slab. Then 7 to 10, then 10 to 12, then 12 to 15. Every year she is doing something. I don't know, she loves playing with the slab rates. Yes, she likes playing with the slab rates. Every year marginal change she is doing. And because of that, I have to change the entire book here. All my questions are getting changed because of her unnecessarily. I have to put extra efforts every year because of her. So, because these rates generally fluctuate, so the government does not want to put these rates in the Income Tax Act. Because they want Income Tax Act to be consistent enough. They don't want to amend income tax law every year. Are you able to understand or not? That's the reason the person-based rates which are changing on a yearly basis, they are putting under the Finance Act. Now, what does Income Tax Act covers then? Income Tax Act covers income-based rates, which are covered in section 110 to 115 BBJ, sorry. What does this cover, sir? This covers capital gain tax rates. This covers long-term capital gain tax rates, short-term capital gain tax rate, lottery tax rate, horse race tax rate, कौन बनेगा करोड़पति tax rates. Now, these rates are generally consistent over the year. They do not change. When was the last time capital gain tax rate was changed? I don't remember. Since the time I am learning capital gain, long-term capital gain is charged at 20% only. Now the finance minister has changed that to 12.5% this year. Okay, by removing indexation. Because indexation is removed, she has reduced the rate. Okay. When was the last time lottery tax rate was changed? I don't remember when was the lottery tax rate changed. It was 30% since last 15 years since I am reading the income tax law. I don't remember that. Is it clear? Please tell me. So, the income-based rates are given in Income Tax Act. Why? Because they don't change. So, if they are not changing, what sense does it make to propose every year in the finance bill? It will be a waste of time, right? and something which changes, you can put in the Finance Act. Is everyone clear with the classification of the tax rates? You guys were absolutely correct in telling me the source. You have told me correctly. But I have just tried to improvise on that why exactly these things happen. Okay. Now coming to our exam. Our exam is in 2025. Okay. Whether you are giving CA final or CMA final, whatever it is, or CS, whatever exam you are giving. Okay. Mainly CA final. This year in 2024, there are two budgets which has come because of the election. Every time there is a central government election, there will be two budgets. Okay. One before the election and one after the election. Okay. Yes or no? So the first budget came on 1st of Feb 2024. This was called as Finance Bill number 1 2024. Okay. In this there were very less amendments, very less. Okay, some procedural amendments were there, not any drastic change. Government does not have power also to make drastic change. Why? Because how the hell you can make a budget for a year for which you are not elected so far? Yes or no? In February, you cannot say that our government will only come. Then don't do the election. Then why are you doing the election if you are so sure? So in February, it is just an interim budget. What kind of budget it is called as? It is called as an interim budget. It is just for a temporary period. Okay. After that, a Finance Act was passed, which was named as Finance Act number 1 2024. Are you clear? Please tell me. Are you clear, Palani? No. After that, election happened, government got re-elected. So now the government will give the final budget, which they gave on 23rd of July 2024. This will be called as what? Finance Bill number 2 2024. And for this, the Finance Act was passed. Number 2 2024 on 7th of August 2024. Okay. So for our exam, both the Finance Bill is relevant. But the first one does not have much amendments. 99% of the amendments are there in the second one. Okay. So second one is more relevant for us. Is it clear, all of you? Please tell me. The first one is not that much relevant. Okay. Are you clear? Now, this budget is for which financial year? Please tell me. This budget came for which financial year?
425.
Yes, it came for financial year 2024-25. Okay. So for our exams, it is previous year 24-25 which is relevant. Okay. Because in taxation paper, especially income tax paper, previous year and assessment year is very important. Agree or not? So you need to know your previous year and assessment year very carefully. So for our exams, previous year 24-25 is applicable. Assessment year 25-26 is applicable. Your entire book will be updated as per this. Okay. Your all questions in your study material, which I will be giving you, will be as per this previous year and as per this assessment year. Okay. Now, some fundamental things which I would like to say over here. Lot of times, if you read a budget, okay, finance budget 2024, which is applicable for previous year 24-25. In this budget, you will see that it is written in that budget that this amendment is applicable from 1st April 2025. It will be written like this in the budget, in the amendment. Okay. So what do I mean by this? It is applicable from 2025. It means what? It means previous year 25-26 or assessment year 25-26. Okay. That we need to understand as a student. So if in the amendment it is written that it is applicable from 1st April 2025, it means it is applicable from what? Assessment year 25-26. Is it clear? It means it is applicable to the current year only. Don't worry. Okay. Don't say that it is applicable for future year. Are you clear? Please tell me. Because generally income tax law is understood from the assessment year perspective only, generally. Yes, some activities have nothing to do with assessment year. Some activities like TDS. Does TDS has anything to do with assessment year? No. TDS is deducted on the date of payment or date of credit, whichever is earlier. Correct or not? So it has nothing to do with assessment. So if it is written in the budget, if it is written in the amendment that it is applicable from 1 for 2025, so it is applicable from 2025-26. Now, some of the amendments, I have not gone through all the amendments, especially I have not seen the dates, but it is possible that some of the amendments it is written like this in 2024 budget, that this is applicable from 1 for 2018. What do I mean by this? I mean that the government in 2024 has retrospectively amended that law. Are you able to understand? The government has the power to make a retrospective amendment also. Now, what is the impact of a retrospective amendment? We will see sometime later. But the government has the power to make a retrospective law from a behind date. 3, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years back, they will make a law. They will amend a law. And it will impact all of you. And the third one, which I have told you, which is going to give us some kind of pain, that this amendment is applicable from 1st October 2024. So in that, you have to remember the old one also, the new one also. Capital gain amendment, especially, it is applicable from 23rd July 2024. So you have to remember the old one also, which is applicable till 22nd July. And you also have to remember the new one, which is applicable from 23rd July. Are you able to understand or not? So you have to remember both of them for an amendment which is made from between. In between amendment is there. Okay. So this is what the first part of your charging section is all about. I have not touched any great thing from the charging section. I was just teaching you the sources of tax rates. I was just teaching you the relevant finance act. Yes, I was just teaching you the relevant assessment year. I have not taught you anything technical out of these two lines. Now coming to the second part, person. What do I mean by person? Income tax is imposed on a person. It is not imposed on an individual or HUF. Okay. So what do I mean by the term person, sir? Is the term person defined under income tax law? Yes, it is defined, sir. How it is defined? Person includes lot of people. Sir, who are those people who are there in the definition of person? See here. Person. Can you see this? Person includes what? Individual. Okay. Then person includes HUF also. Person includes company also. Person includes firm also. When I say firm, firm will always include what? Tell me. LLP also. For the purpose of income tax law, firm includes LLP. Wherever the word firm will come, attach LLP also. Okay. We may not say firm and LLP, firm and LLP, firm and LLP, because as per income tax law, firm includes LLP. LLP is a part of firm only. Okay. Then who is the other person? AOP, BOI is also person. Local authority like municipal authorities. Okay. Your local municipal authorities which are there for your local work in your state or in your city. Those are also person. And then at the end, the government is tired. So government is saying that artificial juridical person. All other persons which cannot be qualified in the previous points will be qualified as artificial juridical person, like trust, like NGOs, like political parties, like you can say universities, colleges, cooperative societies. Yes, all of them will be called as what? Will be called as every other artificial juridical person. Is it clear? So there are 6 specific points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the last one is a general point. Okay. Which will cover the balanced kind of persons which are there in this country. I've given you some of the examples like trust, cooperative society, political parties, colleges, university, associations, etc., etc., etc. Okay. So this is what the definition of person is all about. Just for your knowledge, it is. Nobody is going to ask you this in exam at least. Yeah. So this is something which is very simple. Okay. We are just trying to build our foundation in today's lecture as of now. We have not done anything which is very important academically. Whatever academically is important, I will definitely mention that. Yes, these are the things which are very important for exam, on which a question can come in the examination. Okay. So now pay attention, please. I have told you what do I mean by charge or assess to tax, correct? It is charged in the next year. I have told you what do I mean by person. Okay.
Sir.
Now I will tell you a very, very, very important thing. You have to pay absolute attention on this. Now I'm going to discuss the term total income. What do I mean by the term total income? Okay. What do I mean by the term what?
Income.
Total income. What is total income? Pay attention, please. Vishnu Priya, where are you? This is a very important discussion you cannot miss. So, I have a question to you all. Your entire image is at stake now. Because your entire CA inter was gone in learning total income only. So today you have to represent your CA inter and you have to answer me what is total income. What do I mean by the term total income? Okay. Please tell me. What do I mean by the term total income? Please. I am waiting. Niveda. So, Niveda, I asked you and I asked all of you, what do you mean by the term total income? Okay, so Niveda said total income means total of salary, house property, etc. Correct? I did not ask you, try to understand my question very clearly. I did not ask you how to compute total income. I asked what is total income? What is the meaning of total income? Okay. So this is the general answer which most of the students give me, what Niveda gave. Always, no student has given me correct answer so far. Always a student has given me the same answer. Sir, it is a computation of income. All 5 heads you have to total. House property, salary, business and profession, capital gains, income from other source. Then you will get gross total income. Then you reduce chapter 6A. That is total income, sir. That is not my question. I did not ask you how to compute total income. I asked you what is the meaning of total income. Okay. So the definition of total income, and where does the term total income comes from? It comes from the most important section, that is the charging section. Because in the charging section it is written total income of a person. So we need to know what do I mean by the term total income. So total income is defined in section 2 clause 45. How it is defined? It is defined into 2 parts. Point number 1, point number 2. Total income means an income referred to in section 5. This is the first part. I am explaining the meaning of these 2 lines. And the second part of this definition is and computed in the manner laid down in this act. Okay. Now, listen carefully, please, all of you. We will try to analyze both of them one by one. Okay. And at the end of lecture, in every lecture, we will try one thing, that whatever we do in the entire lecture, we'll try to recap in the last 10-15 minutes, so that when you go home, it is easy for you also to revise. Okay. We will recap every day whatever we have done in that particular lecture. Okay. We will consolidate whatever we have done in 4-5 hours. Total income means an income as referred to in section 5. Sir, what do I mean by this? Sir, what is section 5? What is given in section 5 of the Income Tax Act? Okay. So this is one of your favorite sections of CA Inter. One of the most easiest chapter that you used to love that chapter. Do you remember that in CA Inter you need to have a chapter in which you need to make 3 columns: resident and ordinary resident, not ordinary resident, and non-resident, correct? And then you have to say which income is taxable for whom, correct? And then we used to say that for resident and ordinary resident, world income is taxable, and for non-resident, only income which is either accrued in India or which is received in India will be taxable. Are you clear or not? Please tell me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So now the question is, pay attention. Why we have to learn that? See, when I ask the question, what is total income? Most of the students say this, that it has to be computed by 5 heads of income, GTI, gross total income, minus chapter 6A, total income. I did not ask you that. For total income to be charged as tax, that total income should come within the scope of taxation of India. Section 5 talks about the scope of taxable income. Listen carefully, very technical point it is. Section 5 talks about the scope of taxable income. Which income comes within the scope of India? Let me give you an example. House property. Is house property taxable in India? You will say, yes, it is taxable. Arey, house property is not taxable in India. Salary is not taxable. PGBP is not taxable. Capital gains is not taxable. IFOS is not taxable. What is taxable is, if these income comes within the scope of India, then it is taxable. Otherwise, it is not taxable. Let me give you one example. Suppose a person stays in America, United States, and he has a property in United States and he receives the rent also in United States. Is it income from house property? Yes, it is income from house property. But can that be charged in India? Please tell me. Arey, a person who is a non-resident, whose property is outside India and he is earning money outside India, can that be charged to tax in India? Absolutely no. So before computation, it is our duty to identify whether that total income comes within the scope of tax or not. For that purpose, we need to see section 5. We will see section 5. I'm not starting with section 5 today, but I'm just giving you a brief. Section 5 tells that for scope, there are two things important. One is residential status and another is accrual or receipt. If you are resident, you're gone. Okay. You have to pay tax. If you're non-resident, then either it has to be accrued in India or either has to be, please tell me, either it has to be received in India. Otherwise, it will not be taxable. Are you clear? Please tell me. Therefore, this is a very important point. The first part of total income where the student misses. Total income does not mean only house property, HP, salary, house property, capital gains, PGBP. That's how you compute. But when I ask you what is total income, you should not only say how to compute, what to compute, what to compute. That is more important question. Only those incomes should be computed which are coming within the scope of taxability. Okay. Are you clear? Please tell me. And then your income will be divided into how many heads? Then your income will be computed in the manner laid down in this act. And under the Income Tax Act, section 14 divides the income into how many heads? Into 5 heads. Section 14. Classification of income is done under section 14. And now I would require some help from you all. Which is the first head under the income tax law? Salary. Yes. Which ranges from section 15 to 17. Okay, just for your information. Second is house property, which ranges from 2 to 27. Okay. Third is profits and gains from business and profession. PGBP in short we can say, which ranges from 28 to 44 dB. Okay. Then comes your capital gains, which ranges from 45 to 55A. Okay. Then comes your income from other source, which ranges from 56 to 59. Okay. The story doesn't end here. Then comes clubbing provisions. Are clubbing provisions also important to compute income? Are clubbing provision important to compute income or not?
Yes.
Yes, it is. That is given under 60 to 65. Then come set off and carry forward. Is set off and carry forward important to compute income? Set off and carry forward of loss?
Yes.
Without setting off the loss, you cannot compute your income. Correct? So section 70 to 80 talks about that. And then comes the most important thing, that is chapter 6A deductions. Correct? Which is given under 80C to 80U. And this is how your income is computed. Okay? Is it clear? This is how your income is computed. So, if somebody asks you, what is the definition of total income? There are two parts. First, you tell me what is total income and then you tell how to compute. Total income means that income which should come within the scope of India as per section 5. And then Once it comes with, because see, first you compute, okay, you have put lot of efforts in computation, okay, and then you come to know that yet this income doesn't come in the scope. What sense does it make to compute that income? Does it make any sense? So first step to compute the income is to find out the residential status. Yes. Then you need to find out whether it comes taxable in India or not. If he is resident, yes, it is taxable. If he is non-resident, then you have to check whether the income belongs to India or not. If these things are proved, then you go on computation. Computation is the last step. That is not the first step. Okay. Now, one last thing I am saying as of now, then we'll take a small break, and after the break, we'll continue the discussion. But before the break, one last thing, pay absolute attention on this last thing. Okay. One last discussion as of now comes out of this only. See point number 1 very carefully. Total income means an income. Total income means what? An income. So the question will arise. What do I mean by the term? What do I mean by the term? Income. Is the term income defined, sir? What is the definition of income? How will I come to know the definition of income, sir? Our entire CA Inter has gone. The name of the act is Income Tax Act. But we don't know what is income. Okay. It is very embarrassing. The entire act is Income Tax Act, and the most important word in the act is the income only. So we should be aware of the definition of income. Okay. As a student, as a practitioner. So what do I mean by the term income? Can anyone please? I am not interested in the technical definition. If somebody asks you, you don't know income tax. Okay, just assume that you are not a student of income tax. You are a layman. Somebody asks you, how can you define an income? What will be your answer? Yes, Vishnu Priya. Whatever I earn is income. Okay. Can you elaborate little bit, ma'am? Huh? Ma'am, please elaborate. Okay, whatever I earn by activity, skill, etc. is an income. Okay, fine. Anybody else would like to add to the answer of Vishnu Priya? Yes, Niveda, please say.
Can be active income or passive?
Income can be an active income, it can be a passive income. Okay, fine.
Income, my property or something like that.
Okay, fine. Okay, I accept both of your answers. Because even I don't know what is income. Okay, because in the law it is not defined. So in the law, if it is not defined, if some particular term is not defined in the income tax law, what shall I do? I have to apply the common parlance, common language. I have to interpret the way everybody interprets in day-to-day life. Yes or no? If a particular term is defined in the law, then I will interpret according to the law. But unfortunately, if it is not defined, I have to define as per day-to-day life. Now, I will just put one example in front of you all. You just try to answer that. What is your view on this example? Suppose there is a guy who wants to get married, okay, and he wants to do arranged marriage. So its parents said that, yes, we will search a girl for you, we'll search one good educated girl for you. You can go and see her, meet her, and then we'll decide. So the guy went to the girl's house to meet her, taking with him a marriage proposal. The girl's father will obviously ask a question to the guy's father or to the guy. What is your income? Right? What do you do for living? They have this right or not to ask this question? Yes? What do you do for living? Because we are giving our girl to you. Our girl is also independent, no doubt. But still we want to know what you do for your living. So the guy is saying that I buy lottery. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. So my source of income is lottery. Is that acceptable to you? Can you consider that as an income? I'm just asking you in general terms. Don't bring income tax law, other source, 30%. Don't bring all those things up, please, in between. Please. Huh? Can you consider that as an income?
No, sir. No, sir.
This is not income in day to day in a normal language. If a guy says that I work in this company, I work in Infosys, I get a salary of this much amount, yes, that is an income. Take another answer given by that guy. I receive gifts from my friends, and that gift which is received from my friends, that is my income. Can you consider that as your income? Please tell me. Absolutely no. That is not an income. That is a windfall gain. That is a once in a while gain. Yes or no? That you may receive, you may not receive. There is no consistency in that. Therefore, what is the definition of income as per the dictionary? As per the dictionary, the definition of income is something which is revenue in nature, recurring in nature, and which comes from a definite source. It has to come from a definite source. Therefore, salary is an income because it is recurring and it comes from a definite source of employment. Therefore, rent is an income because it comes recurring, it comes from a definite source of property. Interest dividend is a recurring income, comes from a definite source of investments. Yes? Lottery is not an income in common language, day-to-day life. Winning from horse race is not an income from day-to-day life concept. Yes or no? Then, gift is not a day-to-day life income. You cannot live your life by receiving gift from people. Therefore, income will only include those incomes which are really income, which are actually income, not windfall gain, not capital receipts, not something which is once in a while gain. And this was the intention of the government when they brought the income tax law in 1961. To charge only those incomes which are really income. And therefore, with that logic, suppose if I make a graph over here with x-axis and y-axis, listen carefully, with x-axis being incomes and y-axis being rate of tax, there are very few incomes which are chargeable because the government intended to charge. In 1961, I'm talking about the day on which the law came. I'm coming to 2024. The day when the law came, income used to include very few things because the government used to apply the concept of real income theory. Only those things will come in the definition of income which are really income, which are recurring in nature, which comes from a definite source. Only that much is the income. That's it. Okay. So only salary, house property, PGBP capital, only this much dividend interest, only this much was taxable initially in 1961. Now as the time passes, okay, the government is in need of taxation. So initially the tax rates were 20%, then the government increased that to 30% because we need money. What will we do? We need to increase the rate. Okay. Then they increased that to 35%. Like that, they go on increasing. Do you remember? Do you know how much was the maximum rate to which the government has increased once upon a time post independence? Any idea? Vishnu Priya? Any guess? Any guesses you would like to make? 60%? Niveda?
Maybe.
Maybe. Vishnu Priya?
Okay, sir.
Any guess you can make, yeah?
50%, 70%.
70%. Niveda is going further ahead. Vishnu Priya is going further ahead. 70. Hold your heart and listen. In 1974, the tax rate in India was 97.75%. Okay. How much it was?
80%.
98% approximately, you can directly say 98, almost 98. Now, what kind of motivation will be there in my life to come Saturday 4-hour, 5-hour lecture, Sunday 8-hour lecture? What kind of motivation you guys will have to attend the lecture? Ultimately, we need to become chartered accountant. We need to earn money, right? That is our ultimate goal. Now, 1 lakh we will earn, 99,000 we will give to government. Okay, what will be left with us? Why will I work? I will lie down now. I will ask money from someone rather than that. Okay, rather than working hard in my life. 97.75% was the maximum tax rate in India. I'm not saying that was the flat tax rate. That was the maximum slab. The way today it is 30%. Okay. So if your income crosses a particular limit, then you have to pay 98% tax. Obviously, will anybody pay? What do you feel? Nobody used to pay. Everybody agitated. Everybody agitated. And the government will catch whom so? How many people the government will catch? It is not practically possible to catch everybody. In a country of 140 crore people, today only 2 crore people pay income tax. Okay. Only 2 crore today also. Can it be believed? Is it a believing number? Is it a truthful number? No, it's not. There are a lot of people who earn much more than this, who are eligible to pay income tax, but they don't pay black money. The irony is, there are 2 crore tax filers, taxpayers in India, income taxpayers. GST to everybody pays. Okay. That indirectly everybody pays. Income tax, I am saying. The irony is, there are only 2 crore people who are paying income tax, and there are 7 crore people who own car in this country. Okay. Personal cars. Okay. So it is very hard to digest that if a person is not even earning 20,000-30,000 rupees a month, how he is able to afford a car? Okay. How is able to afford a car? So the point I am trying to say, the government has raised so much tax that people stop paying tax. Then the government realized that it is not correct to increase the tax rate like this. If you want to increase the tax, if the government wants to increase the tax, the correct way is to increase the tax base. Let's increase the tax base. Nobody will understand. So the government said that let's do something that we will define income. They define income in section 224 in an inclusive manner. Which manner? Inclusive manner. They said that we will define income and we will include all such things in income which you cannot generally say as an income. Gift, income. Lottery, income. Horse race, income. Subsidy, income. Grant, income. Reimbursements, income. Let us try to increase what? The base. Let us not increase the rate, because if you increase the rate of tax, even a common man understands, yes or no, that the government is trying to loot us. But if the government makes technical amendments in the provision of section 2, clause 24, nobody understands. Even a CA student doesn't understand. Forget about common man. Yes or no? If there are technical ways to increase the tax, then everybody will not understand. And if everybody doesn't understand, nobody will agitate. Nobody will raise questions against us. Yes or no? So therefore, the government did a very intelligent thing of increasing the tax base. They are making such amendments whereby they are playing with the words of the law and increasing the tax base. For example, in 2014, the finance minister called out for a data that how much subsidy is given by the government, central and the state government, to various companies to do business. Okay, government gives subsidies to different businesses. So the finance minister called for the data. So they came to know that around 10 lakh crore subsidy every year is given by the government to the different companies. So the finance minister made an announcement in 2015 that from 2015 onwards, subsidy is an income. Okay. So 10 lakh crore is an income, multiplied by 25 to 30% tax, 2.5 lakh to 3 lakh crore tax came in immediately. Is common man interested in that? No. Is middle class interested in that? No. So they are trying to make such strategic amendment. In the last 10 years, from 2014 to 2015, the tax rates have not increased in India. It is not increased. It has reduced rather. In 2014, the slab rate was just 2 lakh rupees. Okay. Above 2 lakh rupees, you have to pay tax. In 2014, house property interest was allowed only to the extent of 1.5 lakh. Now it is 2 lakh. In 2014, 80C deductions, chapter 6A deductions were only 1 lakh. Now it is 1,50,000. The tax rates are relaxed. Still, the tax collection has tripled in last 10 years. In 2014, the tax collection was 5.5 lakh crore. Now it is approximately 17 to 18 lakh crore. I am only talking about income tax. I am not talking about GST. GST is approximately 20 lakh crore more. So this is the strategy that the government is playing. Let us not increase the rate. Rate everybody can see. Let us do strategic amendment in the definition of income. And today, if you count the definition of income, which is an inclusive definition, there are, to be precise, 31 to 32 clauses. 31 to 32 different kind of activities which can be called as what? Income under the income tax law. Okay. So this is how the government has played with the income tax law over the last so many years. So I hope it is clear to all of you till here. Okay. So what is total income? Total income means an income which is referred in section 5. It should come within the scope first and then you compute. And what is income? If somebody asks you what is income, tell, I don't know the definition. Yes, I know the list. I know in list what all items come. We have not learned the list, but we have a list in the income tax law, okay, which is there in your book also. You are not supposed to learn it as of now. Obviously, you will not understand the list now. For list to understand, you need to know the respective chapters, okay. So now this is the list which covers different kind of incomes which are there under the income tax law, okay. So these are different kind of income. There is some amendment also which is made by Finance Act 2024. So I will be saying that today only after some time, okay. So what is that amendment over here which I will be speaking in some time. So now let us go ahead with the next discussion. Pay attention please all of you. Now the discussion which I am going to do from here onwards are absolutely important for exam purpose, academic discussion. Okay. So as a taxpayer, as an assessee, you have to keep following things in your mind. As an assessee, otherwise there will be litigation. So what all things has to be kept in mind as an assessee for us, okay? The first thing to be kept in mind as an assessee is what you are earning. What you are earning, is it income or not? Okay. So whatever you are earning should come in the definition of income, okay? It should come in section 2, bracket 24. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just a second. Secondly, second thing is your income should come in the scope of total income. Okay. It means it should come in section 5. Is it clear? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
It should come in section 5. Okay. So the first step is to identify what you are earning is income or not. Second step is to identify what you are earning comes within the scope of income or not. Okay. Once these two questions are tick, the third question, which as a taxpayer you should be aware of, you need to do correct classification of income. You need to do absolutely correct classification of your income. Okay. Correct classification means you have to divide income into proper heads, because wrong classification would lead to wrong computation of income and eventually it will lead to wrong tax liability. And then that will lead to a lot of litigation. The government will send you notices. They will impose interest, penalty, so on and so forth. So you have to be very careful with the classification. So you will say, what is there in classifications? It's very simple, nothing great. While filing the ITR, it's very easy. We know that which assessee is earning income from which head. Okay, there's nothing great to think in that. No, classification is of utmost importance and it's a very tricky exercise. You might feel it is very easy, but it is not that easy. It's a very, very, very tricky exercise. Let me give you an example. We are going to learn now classification. Okay. As I've told you sometime before that income is divided into how many heads? Income is divided into 5 heads. Correct? Salary, house, property, PGBP, capital gains, IFOS. Okay. So I would like to ask you some questions now. You guys have to tell me this income will come under which head. Okay. My first question. I have some idle money. So that idle money I have put in bank. From that bank is giving me some interest. So under which head this interest income will be classified? It will be classified under income from other source without any second thought. Okay. You don't have to think much on this. Correct or not? Second. Suppose Reliance Industry has some idle money. So they are putting that money in the bank in the form of fixed deposits. From there, they are earning some interest. Where it will go? Tell me fast.
Yes.
IFOS. Why we have to think, sir, on this? Correct or not? Please tell me. Now third. Suppose Reliance Industry Limited. And here there is government. Okay. And now the government is giving some contract to Reliance. Okay. But for that purpose, the government is saying that you have to give us a bank guarantee of 100 crore rupees. So for giving a bank guarantee of 100 crore rupees to the government, okay, Reliance is going to SBI. And in SBI, Reliance is making a fixed deposit of 100 crore rupees and saying that I'm making this fixed deposit so that please give bank guarantee to the government. Okay, so that I honor my commitment on time. So Reliance is making a fixed deposit of 100 crore rupees so that SBI can give bank guarantee to Reliance to the government of India, that in case if I am not able to honor my commitment on time, you can release this fixed deposit in the favor of the government. Are you clear with the facts of the case? Please tell me.
Yes.
So now the question is, Reliance is earning some interest on this fixed deposit. Where will this interest go? Please tell me. IFOS? And the answer is PGBP. Profits and gains from business and profession. Why? Because because this investment of 100 crore is not done with an intention of earning interest. This investment of 100 crore is done with an intention of getting the government contract for the purpose of running my business. Therefore, this interest is linked to the activity of business. And therefore, this interest will be chargeable under which head? Please tell me. Income from business and profession. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
So don't be under an impression that interest means IFOS. You have been taught in CA Inter. Interest means IFOS. It's not like that. What about the interest earned by banks? That will go in IFOS. If there is a bank who is earning some interest, the main source of income for a bank is interest only, na? So where that interest will go? Will that also go to IFOS? So the interest word does not have exclusive right under IFOS. Okay.
Yes, sir.
It may fall under IFOS, it may fall under PGBP depending upon the circumstances under which it is earned. Are you clear?
Sir.
Please tell me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, next one. So this was the issue for regarding the fight between IFOS versus PGBP. Correct? It was a fight between IFOS and PGBP, right or not? Palani?
Done.
Okay. Now, the next question. I am Mr. A. I have a house property which is idle. So I have let out that house property and I am earning some rent out of it. Very simple question. Where will it go?
Property.
Income from house property without any second thought. Okay. Second question. Okay. I am DLF builder. I hope everybody is aware of the name DLF, right? Or any builder who makes building. Okay. Any kind of construction builder. So I'm a builder. I would like to just confirm one thing here itself. What does a builder do? What is the main activity of a builder? Tell me. He will construct
A property
and
and selling.
then he will sell it. Okay. That is his main objective. Now suppose DLF has made a building of 50 floors, of which 25 floors are sold and 25 floors are unsold. So what he's thinking, the floors which are unsold, let's give them on what? Rent. Okay. Because it is not getting sold, why to keep it idle? Let's give on rent. Okay. Are you clear?
Yes,
So
sir.
now the question will come, where will this rental income go? Please tell me. Under which head? Now it is forcing you to think, right? It's not that easy. Classification. Classification is not that simple exercise. Please tell whatever is your opinion. So it will go under income from house property only. Okay. It will go under what? Income from house property. The reason is, listen carefully. The reason is, the main objective of DLF is not to rent. The main objective of DLF is to what? Is to construct and to sell. Whatever profit it makes from construction and selling the project, that will go under business and profession. But unsold flats, which are let out for temporary purpose to earn rental income, that cannot go under PGBP. His activity is not PGBP. Are you able to understand or not? His main activity is to sell the property and not to let out the property. And any income from let out of house property will come under house property only, because there is a specific head made by the government of India. The government has not made a specific head for time pass. Okay. That people will go on other heads. Sir, what difference will it make whether I go in PGBP or house property? It will make great difference while computation. Yes or no? In PGBP, you will get lot of deductions. In house property, you get very less deductions. In house property, you get only 30% standard deduction, municipal tax and interest. That's it. But in PGBP, you get depreciation also, you get interest also, you get other electricity expense also, you get salary also. Yes or no? Please tell me. That is the difference it is going to make. So always remember, house property, whether it is let out by a small person, individual like me, or by a builder like DLF, it will always come under income from house property. Okay. Let me give you third example now. Third example. There was a company named as Chennai Properties and Investment Limited from your state. Okay. Shall I say? This was the company. Now, what was the main object of the company? The main object of the company was to let out. The company is based in Tamil Nadu. As you can see, the name of the company, it is based in Chennai. And in the memorandum of association of the company, it is written that the main object of the company is to acquire properties in the state of Tamil Nadu and let out. This is the main objective. Okay. Shall I go ahead? Plus the substantial income. The substantial income came from where? Let out. 95% income came from let out of the property. Okay. the assessee made an argument in front of the assessing officer that my income is PGBP income. Okay. Because my memorandum says that my main objective is to let out, not like DLF. DLF's main objective was to sell. My main objective is to let out. Try to understand the difference between the two. Are you able to identify the difference or not? DLF's main objective was to sell. But here, Chennai Properties' main objective is to let out. Assessee is saying my main objective is let out. You can see the memorandum of association that is also reflected in the ITR, because in the income tax return, substantial income is coming from let out. And therefore, my income should be PGBP. Matter went to the Supreme Court of India. In 2015, the Supreme Court gave a judgment that such income should be classified under PGBP. So this income will be now classified under what? Please tell me. PGBP. Now don't say that it's a contradiction. It's not a contradiction. The previous case and this case has a great difference. In the previous case, the assessee was not engaged in let out. In this case, the assessee is engaged in let out. Let me give you an example. People who are engaged in the business of constructing shopping malls and then letting out. Is their business or not letting out? Please tell me. I'm making a shopping mall of more than 200 shops. I'm not selling that. These days, shopping mall owners do not sell the shops. They themselves let out. Yes, so they have to maintain the entire mall. They have to pay repairs and maintenance. They have to pay electricity. They have to pay security charges. In house property, you will not get all those things. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
In PGBP, you will get. You will get. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, one very important amendment made by Finance Act number 2, 2024. Okay. What is that amendment, sir? Listen carefully. The amendment is, if you are letting out a residential house property, okay, then it will always be classified under income from house property. Okay? Always income from house property. For residential house property, they have put a full stop. The government observed that there are a lot of people, especially individuals, they used to say that I have 3-4 properties and I let out that property and I earn income, and that is only my source of income. This is my business. Okay. So the government said that very clearly in Finance Act 2024 that if a residential property is let out by anybody in this country, then that will always be going where? House property. No second thought. Okay. Always house property. So I want to know the reason why the government has done so. Why this amendment is made by the government. I want to know the reason for the same. Correct? So if you want to know the reason of any amendment ever, then you have to read the memorandum to the finance bill. There are 2 things that the government releases. 3 things, in fact. On the budget day, there are 3 things which are released. One is the finance minister's speech. Whatever finance minister has spoken for 1.5 hour, 2 hour in the budget, that speech will be there. That is there on the website of the government. Second, finance bill. Whatever amendments they have proposed, that will be there in the finance bill. Okay. Section wise, from section 1 to section 298. And the third is the memorandum explaining the finance bill. So the memorandum explaining the finance bill will explain each and every amendment. Okay. Why this amendment was brought by the government of India. Is it clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Please tell me. So in our book also you will find memorandum explaining finance bill. Okay. Wherever there is an amendment, you will find what? Why this amendment was done by the government. So shall we read that? Why there is a need to make such kind of amendment by the government? Shall we?
Yes, sir.
Now section 28 of the Act specify the kinds of income that will be chargeable to income tax under the head profits and gains of business or profession. It has been observed that some taxpayers are reporting their rental income generated by letting out of house property. Under what? Under PGBP. In place of what? In place of house property. Accordingly, they are reducing their tax liability substantially by showing house property income under the wrong head of income. Okay. And therefore, in view of the same, it is proposed to amend section 28 of the Act to clarify that any income from letting out of which property?
Residential property.
Residential house or part thereof by the owner shall not be chargeable under PGBP. Okay. And shall be chargeable under income from house property. And this amendment is applicable from 2025. And I told you earlier only, if it is written 1st April 2025, then it is applicable from which date? AY 25-26 and subsequently. Is it clear, all of you? Please tell me. So I would like to just once again confirm from you all. If I let out a property, where will it go?
Property.
If a builder let out a property, where it will go?
Property.
If your main objective is to let out a property,
PP.
PGBP. Okay. But let me ask you one question now. I want to see whether you have understood the things and whether you have understood the amendment properly or not. Suppose if tomorrow Chennai properties say, my objective is to acquire residential property and let out residential property, where it will go?
From your point, it should be from house property.
From today's point of view, I am saying. Suppose if Chennai Properties and Investment Limited says that my objective is to acquire residential property and let out residential property, I am into that business. Where it will go?
House property.
Income from house property. Okay. So even Chennai Properties and Investment case law cannot be applied on residential property. Yes, it can apply on malls. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
It can apply on commercial complexes, but it cannot be applied on
Residential.
because residential property by default will be covered always under house property from here onwards. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All those who have done wrong classification earlier, I am not interested in that. But in future onwards, from this year onwards, you cannot show under PGBP. Is it clear to all of you? Please tell me. Now, so this was the fight between PGBP and house property, correct? Now, let's see the fight between the next one. Pay attention. I am Mr. A, an individual. I have some idle funds. So I invested that idle funds in what? In shares. From there, I got dividends. So where will this dividend go under the income tax law? Where will it go? Head of income. I am asking the head of income. It will go under income IFOS. Correct? Okay, fine. Suppose Reliance Industry Limited is there and Reliance has some idle funds. So they have also purchased shares of certain companies. And they are earning some dividend. Where will this dividend go? IFOS. Okay. Third one. Suppose there is a mutual fund company over here whose activity, 365 days activity is to buy shares, sell shares, buy, sell, sell shares, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Okay. So there is a equity oriented mutual fund buying shares, buying, selling shares. They are earning some dividend. Okay. Where will it go?
PGBP.
Tell me please.
CGBP.
Your mind is saying PGBP. Okay. Because you are thinking from the perspective that it is in relation to an activity, day-to-day activity. Correct? That's the reason you are saying it is PGBP. But the law says it is IFOS. Now I'll tell you why. Okay. Now you will ask me why there is a contradiction, sir. When it came to interest, you said that it will go under PGBP, and when it came to dividend, now you are making a contradiction by saying what? It will go under what? It will go under IFOS. Why so, sir? Why are you making such kind of contradiction? I am not doing anything. Government of India is doing all these things. Okay. So let me explain you what is the logic behind it. Listen carefully. If you see the IFOS charging section, which is given under section 56, 56 to 59 is IFOS. 45 to 55 is capital gains. If you see the charging section of IFOS, the first section 56, it is written in the first section that interest income will be charged under IFOS if not charged under PGBP. It is written like that. Okay. So what do you mean by this sentence? It means interest income may be charged under IFRS or it may be charged under what? Please tell me. Complete the sentence. Or it may be charged under PGBP also. So interest may be charged in this head also or that head also. Correct or not? This is written in section 56. Okay. But when I again open section 56 and if I see section 56, what is written for dividend? Okay. So I see over here section 56 subsection 2 point number 1, dividend income full stop. Okay. What is written? Dividend income, and after that no if no but,
Full stop.
only a full stop. What do I mean by this? I mean dividend is specifically charged always under which head?
Income from other source.
Income from other source only. Therefore, charging sections are also of two types. One is called as comparative charging section. One is called as specific charging section. Comparative charging section means it can come there also, it can come here also, depending upon the facts and circumstance of every case. And specific charging section means it will come in one head only, like lottery. Tell me, where will lottery come? Other source. Suppose if I make an argument to you, no, every day I get up in the morning, I buy lottery and then I wait every day, 365 days, I do this only. So it will go in PGBP or what? Tell me now. If I buy lottery every day and wait for it to win, will my income go to PGBP if someday I win? Please tell me now. It's a casual income only. It will go to IFRS only. So lottery is a specific charge. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, let me ask you one more question. So there are two types of charging section. One is specifically under that head only. One is comparative. Here also it can come, there also it can come. Okay. Next, one last thing I will say. After that, we'll start with our first chapter. That is PGBP. Profits. Where are profits covered? Under which head of income out of 5 heads?
PP.
Out of 5 heads of income, where will profits get covered? Tell me now. PGBP?
PGBP.
Always PGBP? All profits are covered in PGBP only? What if I sell my house and get profit? Where will it go? Capital gains. So you need to see that from what item you are getting that profit. Suppose I am a jeweler and if I sell jewelry, then it is PGBP. But if my wife sells jewelry, then it is a capital gain. Same thing. Sold by two different persons, the head changes. Are you clear or not?
Sir.
So profits are also comparative charge. That depends upon it arises from what? Are you clear? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
So this is how you are going to what? Classify your income. So classification of income is a matter of great litigation. There are hundreds of case law on this. There are hundreds of CBDT circular on this. Obviously, everything is not relevant for exam. As a student, you cannot learn all the case laws, all the circular. There are more than 85,000 Supreme Court and High Court judgments in income tax. And there are more than 1 lakh case, circulars. Now, who will read all those things? One life is not enough to do all these things. Okay. So in exam, there are limited things. Okay. All sections are there. But every section can be analyzed for months and months. There is no end of that. If I sit and analyze one section, I can do it for months. But in exam, you have to restrict yourself to a particular point. Whatever are relevant points, you have to cover up all of them from the perspective of examination. So these are some of the issues which are absolutely important for exam. Okay. Is it clear till here? Any doubts you want to ask, you can ask me. Shall I go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now let us start with our first chapter, that is chapter number 1 in your textbook. That is PGBP, profits and gains from business and profession. Okay. Now pay absolute attention, please, all of you. See here, please. The first chapter, PGBP, absolutely important for exam. This is one of the most important topic in your entire CA final syllabus. This topic will come for approximately 20 marks in the examination, which is 1/5 of your syllabus. And in CA final, 20% means it's a very big number because the syllabus is huge. In that huge syllabus, one topic is covering 20%. It means that is significantly important for exam. Okay. Now, obviously, this topic was there in CA Enter, but the level at which you have done this topic in CA Enter and the level at which you are going to do in CA final is absolutely different. Don't be under an impression that this is the same thing which you have done in CA Enter. You will come to know in the next few hours that what you have done in CA Enter and what is there in CA final, there is a great difference. Okay. So, we are going to start with the first topic now, chapter 1, PGBP. Pay attention, please, all of you. Before starting this chapter, I would like to say one thing. I would like to just explain one thing to you all. That income under the income is divided into 5 heads. As you all know, you have done it in CA Inter also. And I would like to write the 5 heads here once. The 5 heads starts as follows. From section 15 to section 17. It is income from salary, which is not there in CA final now. Only CA Inter. CA final salary chapter is removed. Then section 22 to section 27, income from house property. Again, this topic is also not there in CA final. It was there in CA Inter, CA final removed. Then section 28 to 44 DB. It is profits and gains from business and profession, our first topic that we are going to start now. But before that, I would like to say something very important. Then section 45 to section 55A, it is capital gains. That we'll see sometime later. And then 56 to 59 also we will see sometime later, that is income from other source. Now, if you give me a choice, sir, under which head you would like to go? I would like to go in PGBP throughout my life. Okay. Why, sir? Because there are a lot of deductions over there. And because there are a lot of deductions, my taxable income will go down and therefore my tax liability will go down eventually. I would personally like to go to what? PGBP. Yes. But my choice doesn't matter. I will come under which head? That will be said by the law, not by me. That will not be mutually decided by me. It will be said by the law. Where it is written, sir? Where it is written when my income will come under salary, when my income will come under HP, when my income will come in PGBP, when my income will come under capital gains or IFOS. It is written in the first section of every head. The first section of every head talks about the chargeability into that head. So section 15 will tell you when your income will come under salary. In section 15 it is written an income will be charged under salary if there is an employer and employee relationship. In section 22 it is written when your income will be coming under what? Under house property. And you would have done in CA Enter, it is written that your income will be coming under house property if there is a owner, if you are the owner of the property, correct? And there has to be a building or land upper tenant there too. And that building and land upper tenant there too should not be used for business and profession. So the first section of every head talks about the chargeability into that head. In the same manner, the first section of PGBP, which is section 28, okay, which talks about the chargeability. So section 28 is the charging section of PGBP. This section will tell us what shall I do to come under PGBP. Please, sir, tell me what shall I do to come under PGBP because I want to come under PGBP only. I am fed up of paying taxes to the government. Okay. A salary person earning 1 crore rupees will pay 35 lakh tax. Okay. At the same time, a business person having a revenue of 1 crore will not even pay 2 lakh rupees tax. Yes or no? How? He has lot of options. First of all, he has an option of claiming expenses. Secondly, if he doesn't want to do all those things, he can go for presumptive taxation. Yes, 8% tax, 8% income. That's it. Matter close. Yes or no? Is that option given to salaried person? That whatever is your salary, only 8% will be taxable. That option is not given to salaried person. Therefore, every salaried person ambition is to come under PGBP. But your ambition doesn't work. Charging section should take you inside. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So the charging section, in every head, whenever we will start with any head, whether it is PGBP, capital gains or IFOs, 3 heads are there in your syllabus. First thing we have to see is the charging section. Okay. So what does the charging section say, sir? In PGBP, there are 2 types of charging section. Within charging section also there are 2 types in PGBP. One is general charge. Okay. And one is special charge. One is what? Special charge. General charging section is given under section 28.1 and special charging section is given in section 28.2, 3, 4, 5, etc. etc. There are a lot of small special charging section. Okay. Sir, why there are 2 types of charging section under PGBP? Reason is general charging section tells you certain conditions. If you fulfill that, you will come under general charge. If you don't fulfill that, then in certain special cases, the government has made certain special charging section. So you will go to special charging section only if you don't fall here. Okay. If you fall here, then you don't have to go to special charging section. Today, in today's lecture, I am not interested in the special charging section. I will be interested in the special charging section after a few lectures. Initially, I am not interested in that. Okay. I am today only interested in the general charging section. Please tell me, sir, what shall I do so that my income is coming under PGBP? I am fed up of salary, sir. I am fed up of salary. Please tell me what shall I do? Read section 28.1, you will come to know. Okay. So what is written in section 28.1, sir? I am writing on the board for all of you. Okay. And then we will do the analysis of this section. Pay absolute attention, please, all of you. What is written in section 28.1? Section 28.1 says that profits and gains from business or profession carried on by the assessee at any time during the previous year. The general charging section says that fulfill these 2 lines, your income will be charged under PGBP. Very simple. Now there are a lot of questions that can come over here. The questions are as follows. The first question, what do I mean by business? Is the word business defined, sir? What do I mean by profession? Is the word profession defined, sir? Okay. So I'm going to explain you first of all what is business, then I will explain you what is profession, then I'll explain you what do I mean by profits and gains. Okay. Then I'll explain you what do I mean by carried on by assessee, and then I will explain you what do I mean by any time during the previous year. Okay. Once we are done with these 5 explanations, our general charging section is done. And once our general charging section is done, we can safely say what? That we are coming under PGBP. Okay. And then from after that, we will go for the computation. Okay. Of PGBP. But before computation, we have to see whether we come under charging section or not. Because if we compute and then we come to know we are not coming under PGBP, it will be a waste of time. Yes. First, you have to identify the correct head. If you don't identify the correct head, you are gone. Wrong head, wrong computation, wrong tax liability. Huge notice, huge demands, huge interest, huge penalty. So what do you mean by these terms, sir? One by one, let's start, sir. We are very excited to know when we will come under PGBP, sir. We don't want salary. Business. First of all, we need to understand the definition of business. What is business? The term business is defined under income tax law in section 213 in an inclusive manner. In an inclusive manner. There can be 2 types of definition. One is inclusive definition, one is exhaustive definition. Exhaustive definition will start with the words means. And inclusive definition will start with the word includes. Exhaustive definition is perfect definition. Inclusive definition is incomplete definition. It does not give us complete list. It does not give us conclusive evidences. It does not give us any substantial test. It just gives you some illustrations. Sir, what does business means? I don't know the meaning of business. Don't ask me the meaning of business. You can go and see the dictionary. Law does not define business in an exhaustive manner. Law defines business in an inclusive manner. Then at least say what does business include, sir? So that I can say because that is written in the law. Business includes trade. Trade is business. What is trade? Buying, selling of goods. Business includes commerce. What is commerce? When you do trade at a very large scale, national level, international level, then that same trade is called as commerce. Commerce is doing trading at a large scale. So business includes trade, business includes commerce. Third one, business includes manufacture. Manufacturing something is also business. But at the end, the most important word come now. Business includes trade, commerce, manufacture. The definition is not complete. The most important word comes now. Without that, this definition is useless. So what is the most important word you are trying to say? The law completes the definition as follows. Business includes trade, commerce or manufacture in the nature of adventure. There has to be an adventure in life. Without adventure, it is not a business. Okay. There has to be risk. If you don't take a risk, then it cannot be called as a business. Are you able to understand or not? Please tell me. You cannot give me one business in this world which does not have risk. The risk might vary. Some might have less risk, some might have more risk, but risk will be there in every business. Without a risk, a business cannot be called as a business. Are you clear?
Yeah.
So this definition is a very incomplete kind of definition, hopeless definition. It does not give us any substantial test. So what shall we do, sir? In practical life, you have to rely on the court judgments. That's it. See, it's very simple. Wherever the government is not giving clarity, yes, their litigation will start. And if litigation start, where will I go as a taxpayer? I have to go to the court only, na? So the court will give lot of judgments now. I will be putting lot of judgments in front of you. Okay? Where we need to identify whether it will go under business or it will not go under business. Some of some of the examples you might be knowing. You might have heard earlier. Some of the examples might be absolutely new for you. But the point I'm trying to say is the term business is not exhaustively defined in the law. It is just giving some illustration. Business includes trade, commerce, manufacture in the nature of adventure. Now you understand. There has to be an adventure. There has to be risk. Without risk, it is not a business. The term profession is more hopelessly defined. Okay. More hopeless. The definition of profession is more hopeless by the government. See the definition of profession. Huh? You will laugh. It is defined in section 236. Again, inclusive manner. Not exhaustive. Sir, what does the term profession includes? Shall I say? It's a one-word definition. The term profession includes vocation. One-word definition in the law. Now, you will definitely ask me as a student, what do I mean by the term what? Vocation means what then? Vocation means any occupation requiring some skill. If you have a skill, it is called as profession. You may be a doctor, chartered accountant, lawyer. You may be a sportsman. You may be a cricketer. You may be an actor. Okay? You need to have some skill where your entire income is earned because of that skill. If skill is not there, you will not earn. That is vocation. You may or may not have degree. Degree is not important. Certificate is not important. Qualification is not important. Rajinikanth, Amitabh Bachchan, Shah Rukh Khan, which kind of degree these people have? Virat Kohli, which degree he has? Neeraj Chopra, which degree he has? Yes or no? But do they have skill in their field? Yes, they do have skill in their field. And therefore, they can be qualified as what? As a profession. Are you clear? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
So, what is business? What is not business? Is a matter of facts and circumstance of every case. Okay, you have to look into the situation and identify what is business, what is not business. I am putting 3 to 4 examples in front of you. All of them are there in the book also. I will read it afterwards. First, Some of the examples you might have heard earlier somewhere. Okay. Suppose I am Reliance Industry Limited and this is government. I want a contract from government. But the government is saying that we will give you contract only if you give us a bank guarantee. Otherwise, we are not going to give you contract. Give us bank guarantee, we will give you contract. So for that purpose, Reliance Industry is going to State Bank of India and making a fixed deposit of 100 crore over there and then giving a bank guarantee to the government so that they can receive the contract. Now, whatever interest it is earned by Reliance Industry on this particular income, where will it be classified? Generally, interest is classified under IFOS. But is this interest an IFOS income? Is it another source income? The answer is no. Here the main objective is not to earn interest. Your main objective is to get this business contract. And therefore, this interest income has nothing to do with earning of income. It has to do with the getting the contract. It has to do with getting this contract. And therefore, the court has said that this income will be classified under what? Say please. Under income from PGBP. Is it clear? So I have put all these issues over here in page number 1.1 in your color book. Okay. Which you are going to follow. Your Bible is this book only. Because this book, you are going to use it till the last day of the examination. Okay. Where we have wrapped up the entire income tax, including the black money law, in around 390 pages. Okay. With all the amendments made by Finance Act 2024. So issue number 1. Interest income on deposits made in the bank which has furnished bank guarantee on behalf of the assessee for a tender. I want a government tender. Okay. For that purpose, I am making a bank guarantee. So this income will go under PGBP. It was held by Delhi High Court in the case of CA and Company. If it is blue color, it means what? It is we have done color coding. All blue color will be called as case loss. Okay. And all green color will be called as what? Will be called as the latest amendments. So the interest so earned is not an independent investment activity. Have I done this with an intention of investment? Please tell me. Or have I earned this with an intention of investment? No. The deposits so placed are inextricably linked. Inextricably means closely linked with the activity of business. It is closely linked with the activity of business. Therefore, it is chargeable under what? Please tell me. It is chargeable under business and profession. Is it clear, all of you? Please tell me. Sir. It is chargeable under business and profession. Let me give you another example. Like that, I'm going to give you 3-4 examples. There is no end of examples. I hope you understand. There can be plethora of examples which can be there in practical life. That what will come in business, what will not come in business. Is there any end of this? Please tell me. Is there any end of this, that what can come in business, what cannot? No, there is no end. But we have to stop somewhere academically. Okay. From exam perspective, we have to stop somewhere. Pay attention. Generally, if I let out property, where it will go? Income from house property. Correct? But the Supreme Court has a different view in the case of Chennai Properties and Investment Limited. Okay. The Supreme Court in the case of Chennai Properties and Investment Limited held that if your main object is to let out and it is written in the memorandum of association that your main object is let out. I hope you know that in memorandum of association there is one object clause where you have to write the object of the company. What is the main object of the company? There is a principal place clause, object clause, right? Have you heard about these things or not? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
So the Supreme Court held in the case of Chennai Properties and Investment Limited that if your main object is to acquire property and let out, and your substantial income comes from where? Let out. Okay. Then your income will be classified under which head? Then your income will be classified under PGBP and not income from house property. Are you clear? Please tell me. By default, if you let out a property, it goes under house property only. But if this is a specific case like this, where your main object is to let out, main object, and substantial income in the income tax return comes from letting out, it can go to PGBP, like shopping malls and all. Shopping mall people, main object is to let out only. And their substantial income comes from where? From let out only. So that can go to PGBP. Third thing, now there is an amendment made by Finance Act 2024 number 2. There are two Finance Act this year. There are two budgets this year. So the second Finance Act is giving a very important amendment to us, that from this year onwards, that is from previous year 24-25, assessment year 25-26, if anybody lets out, anybody, individual, HUF company, firm, AOP, BO, LLP, any person lets out a residential house property, then letting out of residential house property will always be classified under what? Will always be classified under income from house property and not under PGBP. Residential house property can under any circumstance cannot go under PGBP. Is it clear all of you? Please tell me. It will always go under what? Income from house property only. So all these things which I have said you can check over here from year till year you will get it. Okay. I will read it with you all. Whether the let out of immobile property will be chargeable under income from house property or PGBP. It will be PGBP in some cases. Chennai Properties and Investment Limited. One more case law, similar case. Rayala Corporation. These are two separate cases, but the facts of the case were similar. Are you able to understand what I am trying to say? Two similar cases, but the assessee were different. Okay, assessee were different. Case was similar. If it is written in the memorandum of association that the main object of the company is to acquire and let out immobile property, correct? And income from such activity is substantial, then income from such activity shall be taxable under what? Please tell me. It will be taxable under PGBP instead of income from house property. Then of absolutely important amendment. Income from residential property, letting out of residential house or part of the house by the owner shall not be chargeable under PGBP. Okay. And shall be chargeable under income from what? Please tell me. Income from house property only. Are you clear? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Third issue. Whatever issues are relevant for examination, I will tell you. Otherwise, there is no end of this. There is no end of what can come in PGBP, what cannot come in PGBP. There can be 500 discussions that I can do on this. Third issue. First one I did for interest. Second one I did for house property. Okay. Third. There is an assessee. Okay. Who is doing business? He has a factory. Okay. Is it clear? Now there is some temporary problem in the factory because of the workers. Workers are going on strike. Now because the workers are going on strike, there is a lockout in the factory. Okay. Now he knows that, the businessman knows that this is a temporary lockout. After I convince the workers, the lockout will go. Okay. And the workers will come back to the company and they will work normally. But right now there is a lockout. The company is closed. The business is closed. Factories are closed. The businessman is thinking that now this problem will go on at least for 3-4 months. So he is thinking that for 3-4 months what I will do, whatever plant, machinery, furniture is there in the factory, I'll try to let out here. I will earn some income out of it here. Correct? Rather than keeping what? Idle. And by the time we'll negotiate with the workers, and after the negotiation is done with the workers, we can do what? We can resume the factory. Okay. So till that time, at least earn some income. Why to keep it idle? Okay. So he has let out his plant, machinery, furniture to some company, to some assessee, to some person. And he is earning some rent out of it. Now the question is, where will this rent go? Under which head? Okay. So the court said that this rent will go to business and profession, income from business and profession. Why? The court said that this is the business intelligence of the assessee, that till the time he is not able to earn money from his business, he is trying to put the resources somewhere else to earn money. The court said that what is the use of the assets? What is the use of the assets to the businessman? Why a businessman invest so heavily in the assets? Why a businessman puts money in the assets? So that the assets should earn money for the businessman. That's the reason I'm investing. My question, why I have bought this mic? Why I have bought this tablet? Why I have bought this camera? Why I have bought this laptop from in which I am watching you all? Why I have bought this recording system? Why I have bought this office? Why I have bought this AC? Why I have done this lightings so that you can see me properly? Why I have done investment in these assets? What is the responsibility of these assets towards me? They have to earn income for me. Now, if the class is closed, locked down, and if they are not able to earn money for me, then I am putting them somewhere else, okay, temporarily, so that they can earn some money for me. And this is a business intelligence of the assessee. This money has been earned by him through his business intelligence, which technically is called as business expediency. So any income earned by a businessman through his business intelligence, business expediency will also be classified under what? Please tell me. Income from PGBP. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Let me show you. Read this. All of you. Please. Are you clear? Similarly, one last case I would like to address here. And then I would like to stop on the discussion of what comes in business, what doesn't, because there is no end. Yes. I have a warehouse. Okay. I am an owner of a warehouse. And suppose I let out that warehouse to Vishnu Priya. Okay. And Vishnu Priya is giving me rent. Where will that income go?
Your business is doing
No,
renting out of warehouse, sir?
No, I am an individual, yaar. My business is not renting of warehouse. Arey, everybody can have an extra property or not, yaar. Anybody can have an extra property. I have some extra property that I am letting out to you. That coincidentally, that extra property is warehouse in my case. Okay. So I'm letting you, I'm earning some rental. Where it should go? I don't think much, Vishnu Priya.
House property.
House property, that's it. No second thought. It's like a property, correct? What does house property include? Building or land appurtenant there too. Yes or no? House property. But let's see the next case where the assessee's name is NDR Warehousing Private Limited. It's a company which is located in Madras, Chennai. Now, what does this company does? This company gives warehouse on rent to people. Okay, all those who want to warehouse, it will give on rent. Okay. But along with the warehouse, it also give you many services like pest control, fumigation services, security services, removal of moisture, so that your goods are properly kept. Okay. So it is not only giving you a place to keep product. Okay. It is also taking care of what its well-being, that the goods are not wasted, that the goods are not stolen, so that we are giving you security. The goods are not eaten by ants, so that we are doing pest control. Are you able to understand? So because the assessee was engaged in much more than what? Only letting out. So this activity was held by Madras High Court that it will be coming under PGBP. Just imagine how diverse and how dynamic it can become. Sometimes some activity can go under house property. Sometimes if I attach some more activities to it, it can go in PGBP. See, the assessee was not merely engaged in letting out. Okay. But storage of goods with several auxiliary services such as pest control, rodent control, fumigation services. Then also security and protection was also provided by the assessee. So the court held that he is doing much more than what is required for house property. Okay, therefore the income will go under income from PGBP. Are you clear? Please tell me. Because if the assessee is giving you on let out a property, along with that he is incurring so much other expenses. Yes or no? Pest control is an expense, security is an expense, fumigation service is an expense. So he deserves to get the deduction of all those expenses. Yes or no? Please tell me.
Sir.
So total 4 examples which I have given you, all of them are exam oriented examples. Okay. Those are very, very important for exam. So this is where we stand as of now. This is your charging section. Okay. Which I have written on the board also. I can show you from here also. The things are same only. Business. What is business? Done. What is profession? Done. Now let's move on to what is
Profit or gain.
profits and gains. Okay. Let's see that. So I'm just trying to explain what does profits and gains will include. See on the board. Sir, what is profits and gains, sir? Pay attention. The profits and gains have 4 characteristics under PGBP. 4. It should fulfill 4 parameter. If it fulfills 4 parameter, then it is a profits and gains. First, the profits and gains are supposed to be revenue profit. What kind of profit it should be?
Profit.
Revenue profit. What is covered under PGBP is only revenue profit. Capital profits are not covered in PGBP. Okay. For capital profits, we have a separate head of income. That is capital gains. You can come over there. Yes or no?
Sir.
So, what is covered in this head is only revenue profit. Are you clear?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Second, the profit are supposed to be real profits. If you want to cover profits and gains under section 28(1) general charging section, the profits and gains are supposed to be real, real and real. Now what do I mean by this? Let me explain you. Profit should be real profit means profit should not be notional. Profit should not be anticipated. Profit should not be deemed. It should be actual profit. Actual profit means actual selling price minus actual expenses is your actual profit. Okay. So if you want to get covered in under section 28(1), it has to be an actual profit. It cannot be deemed profit. But sir, in PGBP we have learned, and we also do in office, there are concept of deemed profit, sir. There is an option with the SSE, with the small taxpayers, small retailers, small businessmen, that they can follow presumptive income provision, yes or no, under section 44, under section 44 AD, for businesses, for profession 44 ADA. So we have seen in that there though directly they do notional income. 8% of the turnover is your profit. 6% of the turnover is your profit. 50% of your gross receipt is your profit in 44 ADA for professions. So isn't this contradicting with that? You are saying the profit has to be real profit, but in office our boss says that leave real profit, show 8%. Forget about real profit. Who will make balance sheet P&L? Leave. Show 8%. So isn't it contradicting? Yes, it is contradicting. And that is the reason CR, section 44 AD, 44 ADA, presumptive income sections starts with an overriding clause, notwithstanding anything contained in section 28 to 43C. Are you able to understand what I am trying to say? Presumptive income section which says na 8%. 8% is notional only na. So how it is able to charge notional income? Where section 28 says that profit has to be real? It is able to charge notional income because in that section it is written, it is notwithstanding anything contained in 28. Are you able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Presumptive income provisions override the income tax provisions. Okay. Presumptive income section override PGBP. In presumptive income section, PGBP is of no relevance. Acha, please tell me, if you file ITR in presumptive income section, do you claim deduction of expenses and all? You do all those things? Please tell me. Please tell me. No.
No, sir.
We directly do what? 8%, 6%, whatever, directly show that as a profit. So profit, if you want to come under PGBP, not under presumptive, normal provision, not under presumptive provisions, then your profit has to be real profit. It cannot be notional. It cannot be anticipated. It cannot be deemed. Yes, deemed profit can be charged to tax subject to the conditions mentioned in section 44 AD, ADA, whatever it is. But that we will see sometime later. Okay. Obviously, that is a part of our discussion. Third point. The profit has to be in cash or in kind. This is something which is self-explanatory. I don't have to speak much on this. I can earn money in cash. You can pay me in fees in cash. You can pay me fees in kind also, right or not? Yes, if you pay in kind, does that mean that I'm not supposed to pay tax on that? It's not like that. Whether the fees is in kind or in cash, I have to pay the tax. Okay. And the fourth one, the profits and gains may arise from legal or illegal business. It doesn't matter. If it comes from illegal business, then also it is taxable. If it comes from illegal business, then also it is taxable. If you have any question regarding the fourth point, you can ask me. Do you have any question regarding the fourth point? Sir, how illegal business will be charged, sir? See, I am not saying that you should do illegal business. I am not saying stop teaching, stop becoming chartered accountant, start selling drugs. I am not saying that. Okay. I am saying that if you are caught doing an illegal activity, should you be charged to tax or not? For example, in Gujarat and in Bihar, sale of alcohol is banned. Sale of alcohol for human consumption is banned in Gujarat and Bihar. Does that mean that there is no sale of alcohol in Gujarat? Yes, there is, but illegally, not legally. You will not get it in shops. You will not get it in restaurants. Are you able to understand? Therefore, if the government catches you selling alcohol, say the government caught you that you have sold an alcohol of 1 crore rupees, will they take tax or not from you? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
This is what legal and illegal business means. Illegal business means does not mean that the government is promoting you. Government is encouraging you to do illegal business. No. I am not saying that, please. Okay. It means if you earn from a legal source, then also taxable. Illegal source, if caught, then taxable. If not caught, then not taxable. Are you clear? Please tell me.
Sir.
So this is what your phrase profits and gains should have 4 characteristics. It should be revenue, it should be real, it should be cash or kind, or it may be legal or illegal business. Okay. Now coming back once again to our charging section where we are standing. We know what is business, we know what is profession, we know what is profits and gains. Okay. Now the next one is carried on by assessee. The next point is carried on by assessee. Sir, what do you mean by the term carried on by assessee? Carried on by assessee means the business should be in my control. I should be the decision maker. Carried on does not mean that every small activity should be done by me. Okay. It means it should be in my control. Every person who is controlling the business will be called as the assessee. If some business is in my control, I am the assessee. Okay. This is what the phrase carried on by assessee means. And last but not least, what do I mean by any time during the previous year? It means business may be conducted even for some time during the year. It is not necessary that the business should be conducted for the entire year. Okay. It may not be conducted for 365 days. That also depends upon the nature of business. That also depends upon what kind of product you sell, what kind of service you give. Okay. So therefore, if you are selling Rolls-Royce car, it may happen that you are selling 1 or 2 cars in the entire year. But if you are selling some edible items like rice, dal, wheat, then your business may run for 365 days. Therefore, even if you do business for some time during the previous year, then also your income will be chargeable under what? PGBP. It is not necessary to carry on the business throughout the previous year. Is it clear to all of you? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
So now this is what this charging section tells us, and this is what it is written also in your book. The entire charging section is here. First of all, this is the general charging section. I am just showing you where exactly what thing is written. This is the general charging section. Okay. This is the definition of business, trade, commerce, manufacture, adventure. This is the definition of profession, vocation. Vocation means occupation requiring skills. Then these 4 issues, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Correct? Is it clear? And then profits and gains must be revenue. It cannot be capital. It may arise from legal, illegal. It may arise from cash kind.
Yes.
It has to be real. not notional, not anticipated. Clear? And then carried on by SSE means you should control the business. Okay. Then I put one example that in case of non-residents, they have to appoint one agent in India. Just for your knowledge, Apple, Google, if they want to do business in India, they have to appoint one agent who will do all the activities on their behalf. Okay. He will file tax returns. He will deal with the departments, etc., etc., etc. It means that that agent is the SSE. Please tell, is that agent SSE? The answer is no. The SSE is non-resident only, who is controlling the business. Are you clear? So one who controls the business is the SSE. And last but not least, at any time during the previous year means even if the business is done at least for some time during the previous year, it will be considered to be what? At any time during the previous year. Okay. I hope it is clear to all of you. Now, one last thing at here that I would like to discuss with you all. Pay attention, please. Once you come to know, now one more thing, once again I would like to say that apart from this general chart, there are many special charging section also, which we are going to do later. Okay. But right now we are not doing special charge. We are only doing the general charge as of now. Is it clear? Now listen carefully. What should be my next step after I know that the income is what? Charge under PGBP. What should be my next step? What should be the next section?
Deduction.
No, not deduction directly. You can say computation of PGBP income. Correct? How to compute PGBP? Now, such an important question I am asking to the department. I am asking such an important question that how to compute PGBP income. Please tell me. Such a lame answer given by the income tax department. See, income tax department says in accordance with section 3243D. Income tax department say go and read this 14 section. You'll come to know. Don't ask me how to compute PGBP. Are I am asking you such an important question and the department is giving me answer in such a way that study section 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 30 till 43. You will come to know how to compute PGBP. So this chapter does not give us any specific format of how to compute. Unlike other chapters, let me ask you, house property. In house property chapter in CA Enter you have done it. Does house property chapter give you a format of computation? Does house property chapter in CA Enter gives you a format? This is how you are supposed to compute this minus this minus this minus this house property. Does the house property chapter give you a format or not? Please tell me. It does give you a format. Okay. How? GAV, gross annual value, minus municipal tax paid, NAV, minus 30% standard deduction, and then interest on loan, right? This is how you compute house property. Similarly, capital gains. Does capital gains give you a format? Yes, it does give you a format. Full value of consideration, expense on transfer minus net consideration, cost of acquisition, cost of improvement, index cost of acquisition, index cost of improvement, rest in peace. Then you will get what? Capital gains. Index cost of acquisition, I said rest in peace. Correct or not? Rest in peace only now. So there is a format. But unfortunately, here there is no format. It just says what? Follow section 30 to 43D. Okay. And you will come to know. Okay. It doesn't say anything else. What is there in section 30 to 43? Deductions are there, disallowance is there. That's what we are going to do for the next few lectures. We are going to do tomorrow, entire lecture, we are going to do a lot of deductions. All those things will come later. But the question is, you should give a proper format. Nah, there is no format. Only this line is there. You have to manage with this line. Okay. So how to compute? I am not getting into that today. Okay. I will be continuing this discussion tomorrow. Now, as your lectures are weekend lectures, every weekend a substantial chunk will be completed. Please don't miss. I am requesting you. Please. Sleep enough tonight so that you are well awake tomorrow in the entire lecture. Please. It will be a long day. 1 or 2 days you have to give every week and the things will be sorted for you, please. Now what we'll do, one thing is we'll just recap what we have done in today's session, okay? So that we sum up our lecture today and then we will end on a good note. So shall we start? When I revise the things, I want your contribution. Even if you are listening in Google Drive, you can speak at your home, okay? I may not listen you, but you can speak to yourself. Speaking to yourself will help you to remember the things. So we started the discussion with Article 265. Article 265 says what? No taxes or duties can be levied unless the Constitution gives the power. So where the Constitution gives powers to impose income tax? Which entry?
Entry 82.
Entry number 82 gives the power to impose income tax on all income?
That's
All income except agricultural income, correct? Yes. After that, state list is also there, concurrent list is also there, but we are not much interested in those lists in CA final direct tax. Now, apart from that, second thing, once the entry gives you the power, what is the next step that the government is going to do? They are going to make some committees, okay, to draft a law. And once the draft is ready, then the draft will be taken where?
Review.
Review is also done, okay. After that, Parliament, Lok Sabha and then Rajya Sabha, okay. And then to the President of India for the approval. And the President will give the assent, will give the approval. After that, the law will be ready. Income Tax Act 1961, there are rules under income tax law. There are chapters, there are sections. And the first section of income tax law talks about what? Short title, extent and applicability and commencement. I am more interested in important things. It is applicable to whole of India. India includes 4 things. Tell me fast all 4. First,
Land mass.
land mass. Territorial water up to 12 nautical miles. Third,
Airspace about land mass in the waters.
air space about land mass and territorial waters. And the fourth one, exclusive economic zone up to 200 nautical miles. Just listen lecture carefully every day whenever we are taking the lectures, that is on weekend. You don't have to revise also. You will remember everything. Don't worry. Okay. Just listen carefully. That's it. My duty is to make you remember also, not only teach. Second thing, charging section. Where is the charging section of income tax given? Section 4. And what does the charging section say? Total income of a person for a previous year shall be charged in the assessment year. So when we will tax, we will compute the tax in the assessment year. From where we will get the tax rates?
Finance Act and Income Tax Act.
Finance Act also for us, which is the relevant Finance Act? Finance Act 24, number 1, number 2, both of them. Okay. And Income Tax Act 1961. Finance Act will have person based rate. Income Tax Act will have income based rates. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Then comes the discussion of what? What is total income? Okay. So what is total income? 2 points I have mentioned.
And then how computation should be done.
What to compute and how to compute.
How
So what to compute?
scope.
Income which is mentioned in the scope of total income. Okay, in section 5.
Yes, sir.
And how to compute? 5 heads of income, set off, clubbing, chapter 6A. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes. Now scope depends upon residential status, place of accrual, place of receipt. Yes? Scope depends upon all these things. Next is, what is income? Is the term income defined in an exhaustive manner?
No, sir.
No. It is defined in an inclusive manner. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Not in an exhaustive manner. It is defined in an inclusive manner. What does it include? Lot of things are there. We are not interested in that as of now. Next, classification. Most important. By default, interest will go where?
OS.
IFOS. But if I make an investment to give a bank guarantee to take a contract,
BP.
PGBP. By default, let out of property will go where?
House property.
Let out of residential property will go where?
House property.
Even if my main activity is to let out residential property, where it will go?
House property.
Even if it is written in the memorandum of association, where it will go? House property. Residential house property will now cannot go under PGBP. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
After Finance Act. What about a builder giving its unsold flats to let out? Builder is not able to sell the flat, so is letting out. Where it will go?
House property.
House property.
House property. DLF 25 floors unsold. Where it will go?
Yes,
House property. Okay.
House property.
That Chennai properties is very specific. That memorandum of association mentions that main objective is to let out and substantial income come from let out. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Then it will go under PGBP. Clear?
Clear.
Yes, sir.
Now let's come to the PGBP discussion. Section 28, charging section. There are two types of charging section, general and special charge. Special charge we have not seen. We have only seen general charge today. Okay. So what does the general charging section says?
Profit or gain.
Profits and gains from business or profession carried on by associate at any time during the previous year. What does the term business means? I don't know what does business means. What does the term business includes? Trade, commerce, manufacture in the nature of adventure.
Adventure.
Adventure. Secondly, what does the term profession includes?
Vocation.
Vocation.
Vocation. Vocation means occupation requiring skill. Correct? Next. What does the term? Then there were some issues which we have discussed. Okay. Some of them we have discussed earlier also. Some of them discussed new time, first time. Like if a warehouse person is giving warehouse along with warehouse rent, let out of warehouse, he is giving also many services. Where it will go?
PGBP.
PGBP. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Then if a factory lockout is there, I am letting out the factory, I am letting out the plant, machinery, furniture in the factory. Where it will go?
PGBP.
Then coming to the definition, then coming to the characteristic of profits and gains. What does it include?
Yes.
Revenue profit, real profit,
Real profit.
Cash or kind, legal or
cash or kind, legal or illegal. Correct? Perfect. Everything you are able to remember, right? Vishnu Priya?
illegal.
Yes or
Yes,
no?
sir.
Okay. Then comes,
Yes, sir.
okay, thank you. Then comes what? The last thing, carried on by assessee means assessee should control the business and at any time during the previous year means even if you do some time during the business during the year, then also it is fine. And the last thing where we stop the discussion is how to compute PGBP income. So the law says in a simple line as per section 32 43 43D. That's it. So from tomorrow onwards we are going to start with our section 32
30.
43D. Okay. That is all the deductions and disallowances which are there in PGBP. Okay. So let us end the lecture here.